All right. Welcome, everybody. Sharkhat 87, a max percent run of Dead Space 3. So we can go ahead and just jump into it. Time is going to start once select the difficulty here. So I'm going to click game and give a countdown. So 5, 4, 1, and go. All right. So yeah, Dead Space 3, big Dead Space 3, exactly. What's up, Chris? What's up, Swigab? How's it going? And yeah, so max percent. Let's talk about the category before we jump in, because we gotta wait. So you might be wondering why not 100%, and the reason is that there is co-op game that is required for 100%, and we can't do that in solo. So max percent is essentially the solo 100% category, and you can get very, very close. We're gonna get 97.7, and there's only one optional mission we can't get into, and like the completion percent.
This is Whiskey 250.
But we get basically everything. Like the last mission we can't get into, if you could do that, you'd get like 99.5. We pretty much do everything. We're gonna get pretty close. Now to actually get completion, you have to get the full chapter completion by basically just playing each chapter, of which there are 20. We're in the prologue right now, about to gain control, and then there's 19 chapters after that. Thank you for the good luck. Appreciate it. Right. So there's also so there's percent completion for chapters. Also optional missions. And there you get percent for actually completing those missions, objectives for them, and everything else is there's a few hundred items and things we have to pick up an artifact there. Prologue is short and sweet, most part. That's the only item we gotta grab. Otherwise, we're just any percent route here. Oh, there is an audio desync. Not sure if that's on my end or not, so I'll, if that gets involved here. In the meantime, we're just pushing ahead. Got some ammo there. Nothing too crazy we have to do. Again, it is the prologue, so we're kind of just getting into the game. This guy can decide to grab us, which is not nice. That's good luck there. Yeah, will always grab us. We roll, which will always avoid grabs. You cannot get grabbed while rolling, so we'll use that a few times throughout the run. Audio desync fixed as well. Dialogue coming up here to give a reference for the audio thing. Probably fixing it right now. All right, it sounds great.
Popular Entertainment America presents.
Cool. So I guess I can talk about a little bit about
Interactive Studios production.
In a cutscene right now. So basically, the prologue takes place. Seems fixed now? Awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Don't know why it happened. All right, well, thank you for fixing that. Appreciate the tech team on that. Yeah, as far as the story, the prologue takes place 200 years before the game Basically, if you haven't played Dead Space before, there is this alien zombie creatures called necromorphs, and they want to kill living things so they can turn them into necromorphs, and kind of just the whole thing is like they want to just keep like expanding and all that, right? So
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the resident Dead Space lore expert. I have to explain it. Alright, I am reading chat as well. Okay, whatever you guys were hearing, I did not hear. Damn, I wanted to do the Well, anyway. So this thing is the codex that's going to be really important later. This guy is General Mahad. Basically, they're trying to cover up everything that's happening here and getting rid of the codex. Basically, everybody on this planet Tau Volantis sees the game. Alien race created a machine that can stop the necromorphs, and they need the codex for the machine. Anyway, we're gonna jump 200 years in the future. We're playing as Isaac, who's the protagonist of the main trilogy. He's been in hiding from Go. Space 2. And this guy, Danik, is gonna be one of the main villains. So he's part of based on the marker and necromorph stuff. But he's going to be coming in and trying to destroy a marker test lab here in their cutscene, which is going to then cause a bunch of people to turn into necromorphs along with that stuff. Yeah, coming up as part of the max percent lab. So there's not a crazy amount of items to pick up a chapter, but still, once we get into the flute floor, that area, there's going to be a lot more stuff left. But as far as the routing goes, so this game has a lot of glitches, right? A lot of out-of-bounds tricks and skips and things like that. So you might think, okay, so for a sort of 100% style run, how is that going to work? You know, is it just run through the level and grab everything, or can you still do tricks or different tricks? And it's like a little bit of the three. You might be surprised. We're actually going to be able to do a majority of the any percent skips, and that is entirely due to chapter load system in this game. So once we've completed a chapter, we unlock it in the main menu, and then we can actually load from there, and it'll load us at that point in the story, but we'll still keep all of the items and other things that we collected so far. So the idea is we are going to grab stuff along the way, like the first like half of the run. A little bit more than that time-wise, but it's kind of nice sections. But so for the first like half of the run, we're going to do a modified any percent route and get all of our warps unlocked. And then once we, you know, again along the way have collected more items, we'll be able to make better weapons and then go back and kind of clean up. Okay. Do all the side missions, because there's lots of side missions you can get to even in an early game, but they do present some pretty challenging enemies. So by going in and making some better weapons, we can clean up a little bit later. Okay, so now we've gained control. We're gonna grab these logs here. You do need to be pretty careful to actually grab some of these things. That, like I said, there's tons of items, and it can be easy to forget. I do have some notes pulled up as well. We shouldn't really need them for a while, to be honest, but you know, some items are very quick to re-grab, some are not. I'm gonna try to especially pay attention to the ones that would be very bad to miss. Alright, so here's our first skip of the run. This is car skip. So they want us to get in the car. They're gonna keep yelling at us to do that. We are not gonna do that. I'll explain the glitch we're doing in a little bit, but we're gonna roll out of bounds here. And we're gonna try to hit a checkpoint. It's basically just gonna skip another cutscene and running and stuff, but yeah, the glitch we're doing here is called a wall boost. Essentially, when you run into walls, the game tries to perform a collision check and say, you know, we don't want the walls, right? So it like prevents you from like, it like pushes you away, but it also pushes you up a little bit to counteract gravity, so it doesn't also clip you through the floor. And that force of pushing you up is frame rate dependent. So if your frame rate is high enough, you can actually gain height. You basically go. The game's pushing you up faster than gravity's pulling you back down. But it's very geometry dependent. And, like you can't just do it everywhere. But on certain walls and collision and climb, and it's a really powerful tool that we're going to use a lot throughout the run. So that's how we get out of bounds there. Skips a little bit of the level there. Unfortunately, it doesn't skip any items, so we are able to do it there. Elevator down. And then we're gonna officially meet Danik, who's that guy I talked about earlier, unitologist, and then they're gonna, you know, blow up the marker lab and cause all the necromorphs. People to turn into necromorphs and stuff like that.
Have you reached the extraction site yet?
I'm almost there.
Oh, I guess I didn't really explain that to you guys in that cutscene either. So the people that came in our apartment are Norton and Danik. So basically they're coming to us as we're an expert in markers, and one of our other main characters, someone that Isaac dated in between Dead Space 2 and 3, Ellie, has gone off to try to find the source of the markers and stuff. We're gonna be, this is basically the rest of her team. There's gonna be a whole thing later of love triangle stuff, or they were part of that's get into that later. But we're trying to meet up with Carver and Norton right now so we can escape the city.
See that? That's a marker test lab. They're everywhere at all the major colonies and outposts.
What do you want from me?
As part of the marker test program, Isaac, you helped make them. And today, you of all people get to watch me set them
Yeah,
free.
so Danik is a pretty silly villain. He definitely could just kill Isaac at many different points if he wanted to.
Nature must take its course, and I
But
can't allow you or anyone
he likes to
else
kind of
stop that.
sort of ramble at us quite a bit. Oh, also, thank you for the good luck, by the way. Thank you. Glad you like the hat. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The ending isn't looking too hot. Entity. Yeah. There is a DLC for this game too. We're not doing that as part of the main game. But making DLC is good. Recommend. Pretty short speed run as well. It's not super long. All right. So once we gain control, I'm just gonna pick up these health packs here. We can just shoot blast to continue, and then well, for a little bit, pretty straightforward. The I would say the intro of this game. So basically, once we get to chapter 3, that's when the game really picks up. Or properly starts, just in the sense that we're going to be doing a lot more progression as far as the story and getting towards our actual main objectives. But a couple more items gotta grab. There's a artifact I forget to pick up after this elevator. Like, this is a good example of if I were to miss this item here, there's not really a backup for it besides just playing the entire level up to this point. So there's a lot of levels like this one, chapters I guess, where we're actually gonna 100% them on the first time through. The prologue, chapter 1 and chapter 2. We're doing everything. We're not coming back to these. But then once we started getting into, like, you know, chapters 3 and 4, we are going to be coming back and grabbing stuff there a little bit later. Again, just because it's faster to do that. The route is, again, we're going to try to unlock everything, unlock all the warps and everything, get better weapons and parts and things, and then later on go back and you know, like I said. And sometimes it just works out like that it's faster, because certain skips will also bypass, you know, areas of other, like, gameplay or cutscenes or things like that. So it ends up being faster just to go back anyway. Because once you load in somewhere, it'll, again, load the game up to that point in the story. But if we skipped to get there, you know, we were able to skip a bunch of stuff had to do. You get to that point, right? So I don't know. That's kind of the way it works out. It's honestly the reason why this category is cool place, I think. is that chapter load system. I mean, if you couldn't do it, it would still be kind of cool, I think, but it definitely would not be nearly as good. We're gonna do a few checkpoint restarts in a few places here just to speed some things up. Let's move the train ahead a little bit.
All train cars are aligned.
The planet ending the regular one. If you're talking about the end of Awakened has Isaac and Carver like kind of arriving back on Earth and getting messed up by a
Right, understood. I'll close in once you
but yeah, that's in the DLC.
This is gonna be tricky.
Rolls here. These are iframes. I get staggered.
Ah, here comes
Try to headshot this guy. Close enough. That's fine. Not a huge deal. Here, I actually have slowed movement, which is going to be a lot more important once we get down to the planet. But whenever we have that slowed movement, it is a little bit faster. Good shot. To aim walk.
It's now or never, Isaac. Come on.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Trying to get hit by him. Yeah, the shotgun guys do a lot. I'm trying to avoid that. Okay. All right, cool. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. Cool. Quick time event here. It wouldn't be a 2010s game without quick time events. All right, cool. So yeah, now we're gonna be on chapter 2, which is the Eudora. This is basically just a big story dump, both casually and fortunately. So we're more properly introduced to Carver here. His wife and kid were killed by Danik and to Necromorphs.
Who's that? Boy.
But he definitely, we get to see way more of him in co-op, obviously, because co-op partner plays as Carver. But
Sorry.
he's definitely not a huge fan of Isaac
Don't be. We're not friends.
at the beginning of the game. But they kind of come together and have a heart-to-heart
Back there. Try harder next time.
game.
Carver, Isaac weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, this level's very, very straightforward. On the intro here, so max percent, we do have to grab a couple items. Gotta get this audio log here,
Recorded message playback.
Hey, look, I'm
and then item down at the hallway here. Notice me crouching under doors. Small optimization all over the place. Fit through them a little bit faster. To do that whenever possible. It does depend on the kind of door, though. They're not all like that. Some of them enter rather than bottom up, in case it doesn't really matter. I guess it's worth noting too that we are going to come back down this hallway later once the ship is breaking apart, but that artifact is not there on the way through there. So if we don't get it now, we back forward. And just to kind of prove something, and also as a sanity check, here's our progression we're going to be looking at. Got 100% for prologue and chapter 1. Don't worry about going back to those. That's always good. But we're going to be using that later in the run to kind of just, again, double check, sanity check before we go to the very end of the game that we've actually gotten everything, or like at certain points we'll just do a little quick check just to okay, we're done with this chapter completely. But like mostly for those chapters where we got to do multiple visits. We can do the last one. We want to make sure we didn't miss anything, because some levels have a lot of items and it will tell you what kind of item you missed. But you know, you want, like if you missed
What's left of
1 out of 11 audio logs, or you know, that can give you some useful information, but I mean that still gives you a bunch of checks, the potential.
Christ, this place is a jungle.
But hopefully we don't run into that problem. Hopefully we don't forget anything,
Any sign of
aren't
Ellie's
missing
ship?
it.
I'm reading several transponders, but none of them are ours. According to the registry, they're sovereign colonies' warships.
You serious?
Yeah, so we're still investigating Ellie's
I'm getting some-
signal here,
It's an SOS coming from that ship dead ahead.
and then we're about to enter a minefield here.
Could be Ellie.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, Rosen, close to
Not gonna be great.
Aye, sir.
Not gonna be great for us, to be honest,
They beacons?
as you might imagine.
No. My!
Rosen, get us out of here!
Collision warning.
Yeah, so everything's gonna start blowing up. After this, we're gonna be trying to escape obviously with the ship exploding and us not having a suit, a spacesuit, that's pretty bad. But we're gonna be able to go grab one of those pretty soon here.
Hey, Carver, goddammit, give me a hand here.
Yeah. Once we get to chapter 3, like I said, which is the next level, things are really gonna pick up. We're entering the flotilla. As I said, it's this like collection of
Where can I find an EVA suit?
spaceships and stuff. And we're gonna see a ton of big skips there, partially because 0G in these games generally pretty broken. Dead Space 3 in particular, 0G is insanely broken. It's kind of a shame that we didn't fly down to the planet for most of the rest of the game after that, because there are some 0G areas on the planet, but not a ton, which makes sense because, you know, we're not literally on a space station anymore. But that doesn't mean we also can't still do a lot of cool skips and things, which, you know, we'll get to that later as well. All right, and here's that cutscene where we're gonna grab our dude. Well, you know, after talking about how broken 0G is, we actually are entering our first 0G area here. Fortunately, there isn't anything out of bounds really that we can do. I don't believe chapter 3 loads until watch a specific cutscene, so we can't just like launch ourselves over there. Don't worry, we will be launching ourselves over to other things.
The room's sealed. What now?
I'm gonna try to free it from out here.
Yeah, everybody managed to seal himself into here. We're gonna release it, try to just eject everyone out, and generally try to avoid, you know, getting blown up, right? So this is just an auto scroller. It's the same every time. It's definitely a lot harder though than the same kind of sections in Dead Space 2. There's way more stuff that can kill you instantly.
Try to steer towards me. I can almost reach
So
you.
I don't know. It's kind of scary the first time you do it, especially coming from Dead Space 2, I think. But again, it is the same every time. What to do? Have to shoot. Don't want to.
Isaac, where are you?
I'm coming. Just hang on.
Yeah, we're basically just trying not to get hit. I mean, we can take a little bit of damage from these mines, but you know, we want to try to conserve health a little bit.
Hey, watch it. Watch it.
All right, so here we go. We're about to enter chapter 3 now.
Through it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Reload this checkpoint here.
I got it.
Skip the rest of the cutscene. There we go. Okay, so now here's where the big tricks and stuff in. So this is the Roanoke and the aptly named Roanoke skip, or Roanoke clip. So in 0G, there's a few different methods of clipping walls, and you're actually going to see basically both of the main methods right here in the trick. So there's a wiggle clip and an align clip, but the idea basically is if you can clip part of Isaac into a wall, he'll usually be able to kind of phase through it. So we're going to wiggle into the wall to kind of clip our feet in, legs. That'll let us get to the first part of beam here. Basically, there's a checkpoint in this tube we want to hit, right? We're going to wiggle tube, then we're going to do an align clip, which is do an align to reorient ourselves at just the right time. Again, flip part of our body wall into the collision. So just a bit of a timing thing. Good work. I went a little bit late, so it's ejected me down, but okay, no, we got it flat. Yeah, it's a bit finicky. If your timing isn't exactly right, it can just like that, which you can also clip in after that, but it's a little bit random. Try to recover it, but it out. Fine.
I've seen a lot of ships, but never anything like these.
Yeah, that's because the sovereign colonies were sore losers. When they
Alright,
lost the
let's
secession war
right
to
here.
Earth Cub, they scuttled their entire fleet. Surprised any survived.
What were they doing this far from home anyway?
If this is where Ellie went, you can bet it had something to do with the markers.
Oh, we got it. Nice. Okay. There we go. All right, and there's that checkpoint right there. Okay. Yeah, so it's honestly a really weird clip. I know I said it kind of represents how most of them go, at least like the wiggle and align, but that is admittedly a really weird align clip. Usually you're doing them against the ceiling, kind of like, because when you align, it forces you to do a scripted movement where it rotates your character, right? So the idea is you want that rotation to push you enough into the wall that you can keep going, that you clip. But that one, you have to like move down and then clip your legs in. It's just really awkward. So, but yeah, we made it. Skips a good chunk of the level. We're gonna grab this text log here on the way. Now we're entering the generator. We usually just call these parts Gen 1, Gen 2, because you got to come through twice. So for Gen 1, we're actually restarting generators. Which isn't too crazy. We just got to pull 3 of these things down and hold them. If we let go or move too far away or get hit, it does interrupt this animation. So we got to make sure we try not to get interrupted. We have the worst Dead Space enemies of all time, Wasters here, and decide to randomly do a second phase where they become invulnerable in between phases, which is awesome. Or they can die like that, which is nice. Now I say random. It honestly, I believe it probably is just if you do enough damage. I don't know. It's very finicky to get them to do. Third one, who's very far away for some. Yeah, he's deciding to be annoying here, basically. Usually do have to kill all of them because, well, they usually rush you down, to be honest. Ooh, interesting. There we go. We got the third one. Okay. So now we can power the elevator, meet up with Ellie and the rest of the crew. So we're gonna go ahead and call the elevator. Of course, it's not here yet. We've got to wait for it to slowly, you know, come down to our floor.
You're welcome.
Grab some health packs while we wait.
Lock, you stay put. Isaac Carver will rendezvous with the Spire.
Got it.
Faces some of these enemies. Rolls here. So again, you can't get grabbed while you're rolling. So that's the main reason we're doing that there. We're gonna take a little bit of damage, but that's all right. It's not a huge deal. We got good health packs. Yeah, we just don't want to get grabbed because grab animations are super long. We're not even usually that concerned with the damage from grabs most of the time. It's usually just a thing. And depending on the enemy, they can be really... All right, now we're your rest of the team. We got Buckle and Santos here, and then of course Ellie. Now we get to reveal that Ellie is now dating Norton, so it creates a love triangle dynamic, some sort of forced drama here. But I don't know. It's definitely one thing that people don't like about the game. I will admit it's not like the best. I just think it's kind of funny. Like at this point, I do think it is.
Isaac, thank you for
Like I had.
Isaac just is—he's so
but I have so much to tell you.
so mad. He's like he's just so pissy. Like I guess the best word I can use to describe it. He just gets so annoyed.
Stop the marker. The trail ends at the
Kinda
Admiral's
throws
quarters.
little tantrums.
She's written marker scroll all over the walls. The answers
We're
are
like
in there. I know it. We cannot leave until we know.
Yeah. Anyway, that's chapter 3. So we're at the beginning of chapter 4 now. We're gonna grab some items up here, and then head back down for Gen 2. You know, they're pretty. Yep. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and start explaining how it works because it doesn't look too crazy, but the way it works is pretty interesting. So basically, we're gonna do some more wall boosts, which again is that that glitch that lets us gain some height against certain collision. We're gonna try to, you know, instead of going counterclockwise around, go clockwise instead, the other way around. And you're supposed to go all the way around in a circle, essentially, but if we just go the other way around, you know, the end is basically right near the start. But we're gonna do a glitch called temporary height storage, which is basically if you start a wall boost and you gain some height against a wall, but then really quickly get off the wall, you actually, until you do certain things like touch walls and things,
Are you with me?
you actually keep that like a very, very small amount of height added to your just base height on the ground, and it sometimes is enough height to be able to let you start another wall. So sounds complicated. It's basically just we're gonna run into this corner for a moment and then run away, and then that allows us to start this boost again, because you cannot do this boost without gaining that extra height first, but that lets us do more wall boosts and pulls to get over railing there, back in bounds. And now we're gonna do one of the trickier skips in the run. This is Admiral Quarters skip. So first things first, we're gonna grab a checkpoint, gonna reset the enemies, and also for and we're gonna do a wiggle clip against this railing here and try to flip against the wall. It's very annoying because the enemies will snipe you like that, and you're also being pushed by a fan the entire time. You're not even completely stationary here, but there we go. So we're out of bounds, and now we're gonna line up a kinesis launch. So in these games, the 0G areas are basically, you're basically in a big box, and as long as you're in that box, you have 0G, and once you leave it, you lose 0G, and we're right below the top of this 0G box. Okay? So if we line this up and we use kinesis as we exit the 0G, we get flung across the map at incredible speed. And we hit that checkpoint, as you can see by the progress saving there. And that skips having to go to the Admiral's quarters, like the, name implies, and do some other stuff. Now, the thing is, we're actually going to go there in a minute, but we reload the checkpoint so we can grab these items here, and then we're going to do a save and quit. So we're going to get to see that chapter load thing I was talking about. So when you quit, when you get a saving checkpoint like that and you quit out and then you reload, it'll actually kind of fix the game, because we walked in that room there. We're actually kind of soft locked. Ellie's supposed to be there, cutscene plays, all this stuff, and that allows us to eventually progress over to chapter 5. But without saving and quitting first, we're just stuck in there. Like it just like won't progress, right? But doing that save and quit, now when we re-enter that room, it'll progress correctly, like we actually did everything like we were supposed to up to that point. So it's very convenient. Like I said, best way to describe it, it basically just like fixes the game. It fixes the story progression up to that point. So now we're actually backtracking through the area we would have been going through inbounds, and a few other effects. That puzzle there has already been completed for us. The chapter loaded. And when we enter this room, a pretty long cutscene is not going to play because the game thinks watched it, essentially. You just grab the items. And since that is also marked as our last saved checkpoint in the story, now we can do the same thing, seconds, or back to that exact part. So this is why it makes the category good, the whole warping thing, because it cuts out on so much backtracking, all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so this game also has a crafting system for the weapons, so nothing too crazy. I'm just dismantling that weapon for parts, and we're gonna sell some extra stuff. Don't need pork bar there, and that's good. We're gonna see a few more crafts throughout the run to get a bit more complicated, so we can talk a bit more about the crafting when we get there. That tungsten torque bar, which is an item that I made, is also important. If you remember from Dead Space 1 and 2, the power node rooms, basically you could spend your upgrade points essentially on these extra rooms as well, and it would give you a bunch of resources and stuff.
Are you contacting me on a private
So in this game, they've replaced that with torque bar rooms. So it's the same idea. You can get special upgrade parts, blueprints, those sort of things, but also just resources, things like that in those rooms. So we need to make a certain number of those in order to access all those rooms, because they do have collectibles that you can grab.
Do you guys hear this?
Yeah, so we'll be doing more crafting later. We are gonna make more guns. We'll come back to the Roanoke. We're gonna craft actually.
This could be really important.
That'll be chapters.
If I get a chance, I'll check into it, Santos. Isaac out.
All right, yeah. Now we're heading over to chapter 5 already. So chapters 5 and 6 is gonna be on this other ship called Terra Nova, And like I mentioned before, we're still gonna do most of the big any percent skips with a slight alteration. So this normally saves 20 minutes in any percent because it skips both chapters 5 and 6 pretty much completely by hitting a checkpoint right at the end of chapter 6 and then doing a scripted sequence that chapter 7, right? So pretty fast. We are gonna do that, but we do still need to go through at some point and actually grab all the items in both those chapters. And that's kind of the thing. We can't just skip it completely. So to start with, we're going to actually enter chapter 5. We're going to enter the Terra Nova 4 station the correct way, you know, inbounds first. One, to actually unlock the warp in the main menu. Because if we don't go in there and we just do Terra Nova skip now, we actually can't load back to this area.
I'm inside the Terra Nova.
Take that tram again to get over.
Which way to the shuttle?
But we do also want to just grab a few of these things while we're here
They were going to pop it out.
before we go do the skip.
There must be more detailed.
And even though we are gonna
somewhere.
craft
I'll take
some
a
good
look around the
weapons in late game to come back and revisit some of these areas, we do also still need a weapon like at some point, you know, at least like in the somewhat near future. So it's kind of a good idea for us to grab some of these anyway, because we need resources to make a gun in the short term. And oh yeah, and that's actually a whole other thing. Is we have to pick up hundreds of items in this. Some of them are, you know, logs and artifacts and things, but some are upgrade circuits like that thing I just got there, which do actually go in your inventory to account for that. We can drop those off by going to benches, like to do crafts. So we'll have those routed in too, here and there, just to drop off items, essentially.
Okay, just tell me it'll get us to the nearest shipping lane.
But it does also overlap a bit with, you know, some required design.
Diagnostic is a real piece of shit.
We can get it to work, can't we?
Checkpoint restart to put us on the other side of that door. We're gonna grab this. Put out. Yeah, so we will be back 4 station much later to finish that up. Now, load up at chapter 5. Load. Also just got. We're gonna head back out. Fun little thing here. It actually doesn't really matter for the speedrun, but it's just kind of funny. We actually have something activated right now called the air glitch. You don't really have to do much. It's as long as you have enough FPS, it's really easy. If you just run into a door like an airlock like that while entering 0G and your frame rate is high enough, the air timer just doesn't start. So you just can't. We have infinite air now. We just won't suffocate. Again, we have plenty of time. It's not really a concern. Kind of happens, but this is point out there. All right, so we're gonna do another align clip here. Admittedly, kind of a weird align clip. Also, we're gonna see a few more normal-ish ones later, but yeah, honestly, some of these early game clips are a little bit awkward. So we want to align, but then kind of do a wiggle as well. We're gonna align and then flick up to sort of try to clip our legs into this wall in front of us, just like that. Nice. So now we're in the aft station, but out of bounds. Chapter 6. Line up here. Hit a checkpoint. Nice. All right.
System check complete.
And that puts us at the end. It's basically both of those chapters. Doesn't save 20 minutes, you know, like any percent, because again, we do have to go back. Still a pretty big time save. All right, now he's gonna do this little shooting sequence, and then we'll be on our way to chapter 7. One thing I actually did there, exiting the elevator, is you saw me crouch, and then Isaac stood up. So you're supposed to get slowed there. You're supposed to get slow movement. But when you're crouched like that, when you hit the trigger, the game can't do both things to you at once. So it can't make you stand up and also apply the slow. and for whatever reason, making you stand up takes priority. So it makes you stand up, but then you don't get the slow movement, so you can keep going. So we're gonna do that a few other times in the run. There's a few places where you can't avoid that. You're not able to crouch, but just figured that was worth pointing out there because we did it again. Probably gonna not get blown up. Yeah, usually, especially if you get that clip second try, it just times out enough where the line's right there, and you basically just get comboed. There's nothing you can do about it out of the cutscene.
We'll see you when you get back.
Up in the Terra Nova here, we're gonna pick up this chest, another artifact. Attempt not get blown up. There we go. Okay. So coming up here is another small little skip. We're gonna try to get around having to wait for some dialogue. So normally you go through here and there's a trigger that locks the door to the tram, and it doesn't unlock until characters stop talking. So we're going to try to land in a very specific way here, where we're as low to the ground as possible, so avoid hitting it. And to continue to avoid hitting it, we're gonna hug this railing as tight as possible, and then try to mash to get in here. Nice. You were actually gonna kind of go through while it's like still red, like it's locked there.
There's a small wreck near the Greeley.
It's like 20 something seconds, I think.
Check it out.
All right, Rosen, lock, suit up. You're on engine duty.
Go. Now we're heading over to the Greeley.
I'm not asking you to do jumping jacks.
All right, so now we are in Chapter 7. So to kind of catch up on the story, basically we're trying to put together a shuttle so get out of here, because obviously they came in on by a bunch of mines. So we're getting that ready. We're gonna over here to get one of the parts that we need. Throughout chapters 5 and 6, you're also kind of at that goal. We actually will see a little bit more of later too. But yeah, right now we're trying to get this part together, and then we're going to be heading back over to the Roanoke again after this. Grab some nav cards. Volant below us, which we're also finding out is the marker homeworld. So we're gonna try to go down there and basically like put a stop to the necromorph.
Is this it?
Hey, you wanted an engine?
Yeah. Nothing too crazy for this part. As far as gameplay goes, we just gotta.
You always this helpful.
Hey,
I guess like do a little
kinesis
kinesis puzzle. It's not really.
I've disconnected all the lines and service tubes, but hell if I know how to get it out of there.
I'll figure it out. Go get
Pull
your
these
equipment
things
together
out,
so
pull
we can
that
tow it
out.
back to the repair bay. You think you can handle it from here?
All right.
Okay, guys. I got
And we
the
just gotta head
engine.
back to
Is everything
the
ready?
Well, not quite. We're gonna get tossed around
shuttle?
like a midget at a circus if
Grab
we
this
try to
stuff first.
navigate that atmosphere without a flight path.
What about using flight recorders from these derelict ships?
Yeah, right. We could reconstruct one of the routes they used.
I'll search outside the Roanoke.
Look for
And
small
there we go.
satellites with
So it's worth
forward-
mentioning, there is actually an
Satellites
optional
with solar
mission in the
panels.
ship,
Got
the
it.
Greeley, behind us now. So we are gonna go back for that too. I guess I could explain a little bit about. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but didn't fully explain. So, and again, for anyone joining, if you missed at the beginning, this is max percent. So not 100%. 100% is co-op only, because there are optional missions you have to do that you have to complete and also grab items in full completion. And 3 of those are co-op only missions. Now we're gonna do 2 out of 3 of those missions, going out of bounds to get into them. Not supposed to. The only one we can't enter currently, which honestly might be possible, we haven't figured it out, and if that ever did get solved, we would be getting 99.5% solo instead of 97.7 like we're gonna do in this run. And that's the Brusilov, which is one of the optional missions, the flotilla area. But yeah, the 2 other co-op only missions are on the planet, and we are gonna do those. We're actually gonna 100% one of them. The other one, we're gonna get all of the items, but the ending objective doesn't a second player there. It just doesn't like the scripted sequences just don't work, right? So otherwise we are doing everything. So these are those nav cards I mentioned.
Buckle.
We need 3 of them, so we just there's more than 3, but we write this out, so we're grabbing the 3 fastest one. Grab an item in one of these hidden
I'll see what I can turn up.
Then we're gonna do a trick called potato skip. So it comes from the original name was rotato dive, right? But I mean, yeah, potato. So it's a rotato. It just sounds like potato, so easier to say. But we're gonna do something called a door dive, which is where we open a door that's not visually loaded, but it is it's like door pad is still interactable. And when you open doors in this game, it usually will load stuff in. Open this door inside the ship, it loads the actual room around us. So we're doing a door dive, but it kind of like rotates you, it orients you back to the ground. You know, it was the glasses up, the rotational door dive. But potato, it's potato. it's potato. That's the background
I have enough flight recorders to reconstruct
on that. As far as the actual skip itself, you can do this at home. This wall here is not solid, and you can just fly through it. This one right here. So you go through there, and land on this collision. We go over to where the door is. We're gonna open it and pause the game to let the level load, and then we're back in bounds. All right, and here we are crafting this thing to, you know, the flight recorder to get to the planet, but I'm also gonna make a weapon here. Nothing too crazy. We're just making a force gun, which will be a good utility weapon to kind of knock enemies back.
I think that does it. We should have all the parts we need.
Thank God. Now let's plot a course.
Yeah, so instead of,
Get the hell out of here.
you know, just buying weapons in the store, which you do get blueprints in this game, so you can still sort of do a similar thing, but generally you have 2 different types of frames. You have your one-handed weapon, kind of like the plasma cutter I have here, and then 2-handed weapons, like the force gun I just made. And then you have all kinds of different weapon parts and things. So we actually have both the guns we have now have plasma cores, for example. You can use this to make a plasma cutter or force gun or contact beam, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, you take all the different, you know, types of parts you have, and then you can also put like tips on them. So if I take the force gun I have and put a attachment on it, basically turns it into a contact beam. So it gets kind of complicated, like all the different combinations of things you make, but that's basically how it works. So that's again part of the reason why we're waiting to do certain things until later, so we get better parts and better upgrades. And
I tried, but the threads are rusty.
Let me see what I can do.
yeah, so we finally got the crozier all fixed up, all ready to go. Everything's gonna go great. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna be awesome. Nothing's gonna be nothing bad, right? I don't even know why I said that. I mean, it's obviously gonna. Oh, that was a bit.
That's done something.
Okay, we'll put those back in. All right, so crozier, we got another very fun, very cool auto scroller here.
Ready when you are.
This is suicide.
It's kind of cool actually in co-op. This is split where one person controls the movement of the ship and the other person does the gun.
Sensors online.
In solo, we get to do both. It's not too hard though, and it is the same every time. So once you've done it a few times, it's pretty. Try to keep it on course and shoot anything that gets in the way. Of course, speaking in terms of you know dying. You're gonna die. I mean, you can push it a little bit. These green things on the bottom here is our health. So you know, sometimes if you're not paying any attention, it goes in the bed a little. wait. Yo, hey, what's up, Getsun? How's it going? Good evening. And thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're doing pretty good so far. Haven't missed any items to my knowledge. Good. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a, I think there's an achievement for this part for not taking any damage. I will say doing it no damage completely is actually a little harder, especially on console, because you know the aiming is gonna be a lot.
Here's where the fun begins.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, yep. See, we got hit there. So here goes our no-hit run.
The plates are shaking loose.
Everybody strap in. This is gonna be rough.
Hull temperature is all the way in the red.
Yeah, we're coming in too hot.
Give me a course correction.
We can't correct now.
Wait, what did I say? Nothing bad was gonna
We
happen?
won't reach the window. Okay, I'm sending you a new vector.
Time to time to reset. We have time, right? We can start over, right?
We're shaking apart.
We're almost through.
And what could possibly go wrong? Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like quite a bit of damage.
Without the thrusters, we're dropping like a rock.
Shit. Hang on. I gotta go reseal the tank.
Yeah, little diversion here. We gotta go put these things back in.
That's it. The engines are back online.
And in classic horror fashion, you know, not everybody can make it. A Ripbozo.
Shit! Isaac, take the helm. I'll take now.
I actually think this is probably one of the harder parts to no-hit, even though there's not projectiles coming out of you. Because you can hit all these parts of the environment, and you can shoot some of them, but not all of them. Oh, it was like way too low, yeah. Yeah, I don't. You can tell I don't often focus on the no-hit part. But again, you don't need to. It's not like you lose time if you get hit. Okay, wait, we're doing the thing that I said, where it's like, okay, wait, hold on, we actually are kind of low health. Oh, didn't mean to hit that rock. Oops. Definitely could have avoided that one. That takes us to chapter 8 here. We're finally on the planet. So this is where the rest of the game is to be. Well, I mean, for us, we are going back. Story-wise, on the planet. Okay, so I mentioned earlier, sometimes the game does not let you crouch. That's basically here. The suit is broken currently, and there's a few implications of that. One of the main ones is you can't crouch, which really sucks, because if you could just skip all of the walk sections. Fortunately, like we did earlier, we can also aim with a one-handed weapon in order to keep up that faster movement speed. So when you see me walking with the plasma cutter here, that's why. But it only works with those one-handed weapons. So if I did it with the contact beam, I mean, we would still move. I'd still be faster than the regular walking. It's so slow normally. You try to just hold forward here. It is not quick. That's for sure.
Ellie! Ellie!
So yeah, a lot of the time save in this particular part of the run is basically just, do you know when you're out of the slowed trigger? right? Or like when do they start and stop, right? Oh, there is also this temperature thing you see. Reading suit. That doesn't really matter for this run anyway. I mean, casually kinda. Basically, if it hits 0, we freeze to death, right? We die. But it also replenishes if you go in your fire or you go inside and start a generator to turn the heat on inside. But we're not gonna be outside long enough that putting us in any kind of danger. Right.
Ellie.
Oh, go.
You there?
Bring us the lore. Oh, don't worry, we got some more cutscenes and stuff coming up. Ellie made it, night. There's a funny moment coming up here. He sees a dead body who he thinks is Ellie, and then when he realizes it's not, and it's just one of the other dead members of the crew, he goes, "Oh, thank God." It's like, oh, good. It was only that guy. Which, like, he was kind of annoying.
Ellie!
To be fair, but I mean, still kind of. I mean, he's not saying, "Oh, thank God, I didn't like that guy anyway," or anything. You just, okay, actually, yeah, you said that. But that is kind of the vibes I get from that. Thinking like, oh, at least it was that guy. I don't. He doesn't seem too broken up about it though. Oh well. Oh yeah, so this thing's called the Snow Beast. We are gonna see that thing a few more times. You are supposed to fight him 3 different times. Genuinely one of the harder Dead Space boss fights. Granted, this series doesn't have a ton of boss fights, or a lot of super complicated ones, but it is up there in terms of the ones that exist. It is the harder one. So, turning on some of these generators gets us audio logs, so we gotta make sure that is I have, you know, it is possible to forget those. Ask me how I know that. Pay attention to that as well. Gonna do a little bit of a cool trick here. So the Snow Beast is gonna usually jump on top of the shack here and kind of like shake it around. You can't leave until that's done, but if you just open that door to load that room in again and then turn on the generator, it just doesn't, it just skips it. It just doesn't do it. All right, so we're gonna grab another upgrade circuit, that one over there, and then we're gonna do another wall boost to get out of bounds, and skip some movement and some dagger animations and stuff that we'd normally get in this pipe. Go back in bounds. The fun thing you can do in that room will be mad at me if I. But so if you crouch spam very quickly in a certain corner of that room, the game just crashes, because every time you alternate crouch or uncrouched, the door will either open or close behind you, and it just does that so many times the game just says, you know what, I don't know, I give up, and it just closes. We're not gonna do that though, unfortunately. But just know it, you could do it. Alright, so this is actually one of the areas where we're not going to do the normal any percent skip. Trick called suit repair skip, where you wall boost over your tall invisible wall here. and reload a checkpoint later on, which will actually fix the suit, so then you can crouch again and all that good stuff. We do need to get some items in here, so it kind of works out that it's better just to do the whole level. There is also an audio log you can only get after getting like the fixed suit. So that kind of requires it. Unfortunately, my goat, Buckle, isn't gonna make it here. There weren't enough snowsuits. They left him. Kind of messed up, if you ask me.
Might be.
Well, the thing is, they could have fixed the elevator and gone down. The whole thing is that there's enemies down there and there's necromorphs, but Buckle died for max percent. Alright, so we're gonna get feeders here. This is the next enemy type. It's basically the pack from Dead Space 2. They're very similar. The same exact extremely slow grab, so if we can avoid getting grabbed by any of those this run, that would be awesome. It's like 10 plus seconds. It's horrible. So we want to just run through these rooms and try to dodge them, and we're going to use our force gun now to just kind of blast them out of the way. Of course, these doors take a few seconds to open, right? They catch up to you. All right, I'm gonna reload this checkpoint to despawn the enemies. Won't annoy us while we do this, and we're gonna do a puzzle skip here by mashing crouch. That was really good, actually. Nice. Mash and crouch into that really thin wall to be able to clip through. You can run across the top of the entire puzzle area. Crouch to fall back in bounds. That was really good. Grab our last items here. And now we can get our fixed suit. The Arctic survival suit here. I don't actually remember the exact differences between that and the other EVA suit we could have gotten. The menuing is faster to get this one. Yeah, otherwise I don't know if it really matters too much. The elevator's warm enough. That's kind of what that's kind of. But yeah, you're right. Okay, we're gonna upgrade our health here. Going. So one of the main reasons for that is actually because later in the run, actually not too long from now, we're gonna be doing some damage boosts. One of the guns that we're gonna be making, and that is basically for that, so we can just reduce the amount of damage that we're taking. Especially because our inventory gets pretty full with all these items that we need to carry. So we also that means we can't carry as many health packs, right? We can't just have our full of those. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade our armor a little bit later too, but we don't usually have the resources for it at this point in the run. So I just figured I used to try to do it, but you honestly just don't have it most of the time, so we'll just do it later. Not really a huge deal. More aim walking here through the slowed sections. I don't know if I mentioned it as far as our progression. We are in chapter 9 now. Coming up in a minute here to the boss, chapter 9. That snow beast we saw earlier. It'll be snow beast 1, because you got to fight it 3 whole times. Although we are gonna skip snow beast 2. And again, it would not be a 2010s game without good old quick time events. So that's what we're gonna do right here. dies several times. Something interesting, I've had a few people ask me before, especially when trying to learn these games. Something kind of interesting. Mostly about these quick time events where you're gonna mash. So they're pass-fail. They're not. The speed of them is not determined by how fast you mash. So yeah, by pass-fail I just mean if you do it quick enough, it works. If you don't, you die. But it's very lenient. You have to you pretty much have to be not pushing the button at all to fail it. Usually mash just a little bit for, you know, safety. They're not too bad. But yeah, if you ever play these games, you don't like if you're mashing super fast, it's not going to make it played like. All right, we're gonna see Carver again. Haven't seen him in a while. Again, in co-op, you see him pretty much the whole time. In solo, he kind of just appears.
Carver!
Like right now.
Down here! Clark! How the hell did you... Never mind! Come on, we're in... Oh, shit! Langford! They're coming over the outer wall, you hear me? They're headed your way! Damn it! Clark! We're in Central Command! Get up here!
All right, got our boss fight coming up here.
Ellie!
So we gotta shoot 3 tentacles off. It exposes its weak spot. We destroy one of the bulbs. We're gonna do that twice. If we do this perfectly, you can hit all 3 tentacles, but as soon as you hit one, it'll start to go through an animation of like putting them away so it can charge at you. So we're gonna stasis him to slow him down and try to snipe all 3. It's a little difficult. Usually we want to get at least 2. But again, 3 is ideal here. Almost got that one. Fine, so we can do a charge, so we dodge. Trying not to use the rest of my stasis. There we go, okay. We also are trying to lead him over in this direction, generally. Because after the fight's over, he's gonna just walk over to a certain point and then trigger the next cutscene. What? I can't believe it. First tentacle so many times. Oh, okay, weird. Okay. All right. Not a perfect fight, but there we go. Okay. Try to rotate him a little bit. Corner. All right, then fun little thing you can do. You can stand here, right where the thing's gonna fall down.
Fucking thing!
You see Isaac just get crushed, and then he teleports over here. Fine. He's just really quick. No, he's really fast. He just step. We're gonna burn some extra health packs here because we're usually pretty full on the end. A couple more items we gotta pick up. That should be fine, I think. I think that's exactly enough. Because again, so a lot of these items don't actually go into the inventory. It's more just the damage upgrades and the weapon parts. Blueprints maybe actually. Okay, there's a lot of collectibles. All the artifacts and the logs don't go in. One thing I should mention too, we've seen it a few times, but when you see this saving checkpoint, you actually can't reload checkpoint until that icon, right? I guess until it finishes, right? So we do have to wait a little bit sometimes for those. It's not usually a huge deal, but even so, that one's still faster to elevator ride. You do get other normal checkpoints. I guess sort of like invisible checkpoint, right? Like it doesn't say progress saving, but you reload or die, you will on there. The difference is if you get a regular invisible checkpoint, the game doesn't save. Like, even so, when you hit quit and save, it does save your inventory, but it doesn't save your story progress. So you will, you know, have to load back in the start of a chapter. Yeah, so we get another cutscene, sort of expand on the love triangle here. You know, Ellie gives him a hug, like, "Oh, I'm glad you're not dead." Norton gets all annoyed.
Good to see you made it,
Eddie.
Isaac. You know, maybe we should give you two some time alone, huh?
What the hell does that mean?
It means for someone who's in the past, you're awfully glad to see him.
I love it. It's like, you're awfully glad to see. Yeah, because he's not dead. What are you talking about?
Stop, just stop. We need to shut down that damn machine, and we don't even know where it is yet.
I do. I mean, I think I know how to find it.
Yeah, basically what Santos is saying is
I thought all that stuff was destroyed.
we're looking for something on the other end of the compound, so we gotta go over there.
A signal tracking experiment that pinpointed the machine's exact location. Well, I think if we repeat it, we can do the
The
same.
gun disappearing glitch?
But
Yes, I will be very careful.
Yeah, fine, let's have a look. Could use a change of scenery.
Yeah, that's a reference to something that's happened to me before and actually happened in practice. Which is on a section coming up, you get a checkpoint in kind of a weird spot, and if you do a regular checkpoint restart instead of saving and quitting, it just deletes the gun you made and all the resources. And we don't want that to happen. It's bad. It's not like in run ending, like we can still beat the game, of course. It was not good. It's not ideal. We are doing a full item dump here. You can clean up our inventory. Chapter 10 now, the archaeology compound.
Wait for Isaac. Isaac, we're just outside.
Yeah, and we're freezing. Hurry your ass up.
And as soon as we're reunited with everyone, we are very quickly going to get separated, blown up. So we are on our own. Gotta meet up with them.
How the hell did Danik's men find us?
Come on, run!
Yeah, so Danik and his cult people have found us on the planet. They tracked us somehow. We're gonna get some dialogue here, kind of explaining like that shouldn't be possible, but they're here anyway. Got dudes at us. Which we're gonna ignore for the most part. The shotgun guys, you do have to respect a little bit.
Where did they come from?
And the rocket launcher one. But the regular machine gun guys, we can kind of just run past them.
Yeah? Well, they did. Ellie, can you make it to the warehouse?
Colin, get your guys over here. He's this way.
Ellie!
Santos, look out!
Fall back!
I see him! He's down here!
Alright. So we're gonna kind of try to path this so the rocket launcher dude, the guys instead hitting us. Because we can't really do too much about the machine gun guys hitting us unless we just killed all of them with low, so we want to pass them.
We're getting caught in the crossfire.
But yeah, the enemies with a bit more firepower are gonna be a little bit more careful. So there's two shotgun guys here. I'm gonna try to knock them over and stasis them. Because you would think, you know, shotguns have less range than other guns, right? Wrong. At least in this game, right? The shotgun guy can snipe you from all the way back there. I saw the lasers pop up. He tried to do it. Okay. And it passed there. This is another chapter. We're gonna try to basically do all of in one go, so grabbing the items on the way. And we are coming up to drill skip now, and if you've seen Dead Space 2, it is not that drill skip, and it is a lot less complicated. But we are gonna skip a big room with, I guess, a boss fight, with this big drill. So instead, we're going to more wall boost. Get all the way up on top of the room. So we're basically just trying to do some platforming here, try and hit a checkpoint on the other side of the drill room. I don't know if you all knew this, but the Dead Space games are actually 3D platformers. Maybe not casually, but you can play them now if you know what you're doing. I'm in here, couch under stuff. Go. Back roll here, run off, and it should hit the checkpoint. Nice. Okay. So now coming up, we're gonna do a little bit of a bigger, more substantial craft. Ratted them out. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna make a seeker rifle, basically like a rifle. Well, not quite a sniper, I guess, but. And then a timed mine, which is the like alt fire from the regular line gun games.
What the hell is this?
Okay, so we're gonna switch this out for a military engine.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Sell some stuff we don't need. Bit charge.
Conduits for the machine's control signal, broadcasting it to the smaller forms.
And that helps us out?
Because
we're
they
gonna
found the
that.
machine by tracking the signal upstream through nerve clusters inside the creature.
Well, wait. We need to get inside that thing?
Yes. This is such a
We
wonderful
don't.
opportunity.
Wonderful opportunity.
We don't need that. That's the rocket launcher. So we need compressor there.
Use heat exchangers.
Yeah, it just gets a bit tricky because we wanna
No good.
sell a bunch of stuff.
Furnace on the roof.
Okay, so we're gonna do that.
I can get it running again.
Isaac, be careful up there, all right?
Actually, plus clip. Make plus clip plus damage. That should be okay. That should be okay, I think. Yeah, okay. You want a decent amount of damage, and you need at least +2 clip to get an extra clip there. We're gonna keep that plasma cutter, and then we're gonna make a little bit of stuff. Or we don't need that. Almost enough. Unfortunately, yeah, okay, so unfortunately it makes you watch this little animation if you do that again, but that's fine. Okay. I'm still missing barely a little bit of tungsten. Give us. All the rest. Okay, that should be enough. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, one too many times. Okay, we just need to make at least one torque bar here. I really don't have enough. Okay, we'll do it later. That's fine. Okay, we were just a little bit short on the resource there. That's okay. So we're gonna turn VSync on here. This is gonna lock the game to 30 FPS, and then we're gonna start a crouch to get a wall boost here. This specific wall boost only works at 30 FPS. It's interesting. Most of these boosts you actually want like higher frame rate, like the higher the better. But that's a pretty new thing actually that we discovered, or I should say Matt discovered, where at 30 FPS there you can crouch to start wall boost a little earlier. And well, shout out to Arsis too. Actually, he found a very similar thing in Dead Space 2. You can initiate wall boost at lower FPS. But yeah, so this is Nexus skip. That's the whole next thing we need to explain. So this big creature, this hive mind, I think kind of like the boss from Dead Space 1. They want to use it as like a signal tracking thing, so they can track where this went from. As cool as that is, we are going to blow ourselves up and try to hit a checkpoint here. Okay, I missed it. I learned my lesson this time. Do a save and quit. I believe. Still have our gun. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this checkpoint's a little bit annoying to hit. For me, at least, it's one of the harder tricks on the run. But that's okay. We can give it a try here. One thing to mention is once we start falling in this game, and this applies to all 3 Dead Space games, your horizontal speed gets locked, whatever it was when you leave the ground. So by blasting ourselves here, we basically capture that really fast speed of getting knocked forward, and then we go off the ledge right after, keep that speed for the entire duration we're in the air. So it helps us go really far. It's about exactly twice as fast as normal running is. There we go. Okay, okay, we got it. All right. So this is also a huge skip. Again, probably saves a little bit less than any percent because we got to do a little bit of backtracking, but in any percent, that also saves around. And reloading the checkpoint and doing that save and quit, again, fixes the game's story up to this point as if we progressed normally, and so it acts like we have beaten chapters 11 and 12. Now we do have to do a slight backtrack. Well, I guess you could call it a backtrack, but there is an item we gotta grab up here. Another cool result, though, again, of the level changing progress flags. It also sets this area as having been completed, even if you haven't even been here yet. So normally you gotta grab a battery, throw it over, climb up, walk through some slow stuff, and then climb back down a ladder, pull the battery through the window. That's already been done for us, so we can just walk right through this door, activated. Grab the item, save and quit to warp all the way back down the elevator. Yes. Okay, so yeah, how did Danik and his men end us? I'm gonna let the beginning of this cutscene play out. I'm gonna refill my water here quick, so give me just a few seconds here. We'll let the beginning of this cutscene play out.
You wouldn't believe the trouble you've saved me. Nice work.
What?
Well, here he is. The marker killer, Isaac Clarke. And here we are. The marker homeworld. You know, I must admit, I almost didn't believe such a place existed. But thanks to your friend, Norton, I finally found it.
That's how they followed us through shock space.
Oh, he is a bright one.
All he wants is Isaac. Carver, the rest of us can go home. Deluded son of a...
Hey! You've got me. Let the others go.
It's a very difficult thing, you know, undoing the damage man has done. Everything we touch, we contaminate, we corrupt. The markers had a plan for us, but we took what should have been a magnificent gift and perverted it.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Just a reminder for everyone to make sure you're staying hydrated, stretching, especially during longer run.
EarthGov's ongoing research,
blood flowing.
The markers from those profane testing facilities, and now.
Yeah, just absolutely blasting ourselves in a deep-loaded area. That's the Dead Space experience right there.
All of you.
The Dead Space speedrunning experience.
No, you promised me a ship, Danik. We had a deal.
Yeah, so Norton betrayed us, foolishly thinking that Danik would let everyone else go, except for Isaac. We actually saved Danik here, or save Norton, I mean. Norton will surely repay the favor. Later. Sure.
Did they get him? Here.
All right. Gonna run into this trigger up here to start the next fight. So that big hive mind, the reason for the experiment and everything, is awake now, and we gotta fight him. So pretty similar if you played Dead Space 1, the original, or the remake. Pretty similar to the final boss of that game. We gotta dodge the big arm slam. Slams. And then we got some weak spots to shoot. And we stand all the way at the back of the arena so that when we get pulled in here, not too close. I'm sure a lot of casual players got messed up by that because if it sucks you in too close, it just eats you and you die. So we don't need to be this far back, but I usually just do it anyway. No reason not to. So we'll go for round 2 here. Cool. All right, so now for the third round here, I'm actually gonna go as far up as possible. And the reason for that is on the third one, we actually do want to get sucked in here. Second phase of the fight. There's a pretty interesting trick you can do here. We're not gonna do it because it doesn't really work in the category, but it's called cliff skip. So even though we're technically in, you know, some sort of right, the game, it treats this as a 0G area. It all works the same. So you can flip out, albeit through some curved, moving, invisible walls, which is about as fun as it sounds. And then you can kinesis launch to a very, very small target, very far away. It's very precise. It's done in any percent, but we do actually have to play the cliffs. In theory, there is a much smaller version of it you could do for this, but it's not nearly as worth it because it doesn't save, you know, like 5 minutes. We are just going to progress here the normal way. Go. It's gonna be kind of tricky. Fortunately, we have a little bit extra stasis. Nice. Getting bullied. Did I get him? Okay, nice. All right. That's the hive mind fight. Yeah, so Norton's not very happy.
Shooting at us and whatever the fuck that was, what chance have we got? You betrayed us! I tried to save us. You are the real problem here, Clark, but not anymore. Captain! Stand down, Sergeant. This is all your fucking fault. She doesn't love you.
There we go. We shoot Norton. Now, there's a funny thing that happens here called Flying Norton. So it's again another high FPS team, but you probably won't miss it. Don't blink though. But on the right side of the screen, you'll see him just flying up into the air. It's just because his body ragdolls. Funny physics thing, but it does happen every time if you're high enough. All right, here we go. Chapter 13. Favorite chapter, the cliffs. Fortunately, this is another one and done. It's not that bad. It's just there's a lot of these rappel sections, and all of the ascending ones are kind of annoying.
Isaac. Where's Robert? Is he...
I shot him, Ellie.
So Isaac explains this very well.
What?
Leading with, I shot him.
I had no choice.
Not, he betrayed us, he...
Betrayed us, Ellie. He was ready.
Well, there
to
you go,
kill
but-
us. Isaac did what he had to do to save the mission. Come on. We gotta keep moving.
Now there are only 4 of us left. I can't do this.
Yeah, again, in classic horror fashion, they're
If you can't keep your head, you're
whittling
a danger to
everybody
everybody.
down.
Horrible.
Nobody's leaving anybody. Now come on. Let's get to the top of this mountain.
Alright, and as we say, we're getting to the top of the mountain together. We're gonna leave everybody else.
Together.
Well, to, you know, find an easier way for everyone to get up, of course. But, alright, for these ascending sections, so we discovered the faster you mash forward, the faster you go. So the goal here is basically just to do just that.
We're gonna start an avalanche if we all try to climb this.
What do we do?
I'll climb up first and have a look
If you
around.
ever play this
There's a
casually,
safer
one
route.
tip I'll give if you don't want to just mash, understandable. I'm admittedly not the best at mashing myself, but if you just tap forward every once in a while, it's still faster, because if you just hold it the entire time, he will eventually do these stagger animations where he trips. That does skip those, at least. Like those Mario Party minigames. Doesn't look like... Might be able to hear what I'm talking here. Looks like the noise gate is cutting it out, at least while I'm... But it's pretty loud. We do get hit there. It's just faster to go up the left side. You get 2 different rappels you can do, and this side's just a little bit faster. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna enter a trigger here that's supposed to slow us down, kind of like earlier in the game. We're gonna crouch first, though.
Is that supposed to make it
Game can
okay?
only
You never
do one
believed in
thing,
me,
so it
or
makes us
this
stand up.
mission, or us. I had to go
Press the
find
slow.
someone else to help me, and now he's dead. You sabotaged it, just like everything else.
What's that supposed to mean? Is that what you really
There,
think?
it's not a massive time save, but it does let us sprint. Otherwise, it
I
kind of...
guess that's what it took.
I'm not here because someone put a gun to my head.
Yeah, well, Norton's dead because someone put one to his.
Guys, I found a cargo cage, but it's
Pushing
wedged
on
into
here.
the cliff. I'll try to free it and send it down.
It's another level where there's not a lot of items we have to get,
We see
so
The cage is on its way now.
mostly just trying to avoid
Ellie, can you
enemies
see it? Ellie.
Oh God!
and do the
Get behind
ending set.
Ah, shit. Try to drive it away.
Ellie! Ellie! Ellie!
Basically hoping not to get grabbed there. I don't think I ever have, but wouldn't be surprised if it's possible there. Little rocks that fall here are a little bit random. I didn't get hit. Nice. There you go. We generally have enough damage that we can one-shot a lot of these enemies. We are still gonna get a decently better weapon later on, but this will be good at least up through the basically like the 80% section.
Isaac, we're okay. We drove it off.
Oh, thank God.
'Cause in 80% you don't really
About
get
Robert.
super great weapons. I mean, you get some
Just
okay
don't
stuff towards the
understand
very
why we
end,
tried to
but
kill you.
He blamed me for
you
all the
skip so
trouble.
much stuff and pick up so many little
pushing me to
items
go
that you
home.
don't have a ton of opportunities to
The mission is all that matters. Thought Robert understood
to get anything.
that.
Trying to take this a little safe. The range on those is a little bit bigger than you might think at times.
Okay. I found another lift point. Still no winch. You guys all right?
So far, we're just at the cage.
It's infested pretty bad up here. I hope I find a winch soon.
Isaac, just be careful. I don't need to.
Game gives us a bunch of stasis packs there, and that's because we gotta stasis a bunch of stuff here. This is the scariest climb in the game. There's a bunch of insta-kill obstacles that fall down here. Oh, we're good. Okay. There's like a specific way you hit that where he doesn't actually go over to the other side after you fall there, and you just stay in position. Big rock is coming down towards you. I stasis it a little early. Awkward. Okay. I forget, but I'm pretty sure that just kills you even if it's stasis. But don't quote me on that. Alright, we're done with the climbing for at least. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but I guess a quick note, especially for people who haven't played these games before. You actually do deal more damage to the limbs of enemies than the head, except for the actual soldiers, of course. At least I'm pretty sure. But for the necromorphs, the limb damage does the most, especially if you sever the limbs. So I'm pretty sure our current damage would one-shot these enemies away, but I am targeting the limbs. Does do it. Sure.
Oh my God! Take it easy, take it easy. Just blown a fuse. Maybe I can divert power from the lights. So, tell me about this, Rosetta.
Well, we don't know much. Just that the codex was made from her research.
Where will we find it?
In the facility at the top of this mountain.
Great. See? We're almost done.
Alright, so we bring everybody up. Santos has been complaining about the heights and stuff, right? Unfortunately,
See, that wasn't so bad.
we're almost strangely enough isn't in a huge hurry to get off
Just get me some solid ground under
the lift once they get up there, which unfortunately leads for perfectly timed snow beast to reappear. And Carver makes an executive decision, which Isaac is not a fan of, obvious reason. Second here.
It's gonna take the whole cliff face down and us with it. I can reach her. Just hang on to the winch. Santos, give me your hand. Isaac, it's too late for that. Take it. Cover, no!
And now it's just three of them. Like I said, Isaac's not happy, and he's gonna fall here. It's another section where if you're in co-op, Carver would go with you, but they kind of split it. It's the same story, really. I don't know if I touched on that too much, but the story for the most part is the same. You just kind of get more dialogue if you're playing a co-op. You get a few little like extras, character development. The overall story is still the same. And now we're heading into Snow Beast 3. Like I said, we skipped Snow Beast 2, but we do still have to do the last fight with it here.
Isaac, it was pulling the
A little bit different than the other two fights, though.
Can you get back up here?
Instead of trying to take out his weak spots, we're gonna run forward a little bit, try to dodge. Take out these enemies as they pop up. Start this winch here. We gotta damage him so he comes, well, he comes over here anyway, but we gotta damage one of these. Get it stuck on the tracking laser things.
Use the torque control.
There we
Quick,
go.
he's gonna break free.
Alright, we're taking those guys out so they can't hit us. And there we go. Okay, now it's actually dead. Because we didn't see too much of it compared to a glitchless playthrough, of course. But the whole thing is like every time you fight it, it just runs away and you can't kill it. So we make sure it's dead now. We won't again. I don't think it'll even show up in any cutscenes or anything. Yeah, back for more items later. Speaking of which, we're gonna have another cutscene here. And then we actually are gonna do a little bit of backtracking. We're gonna do a little bit of a detour before we continue the rest of the story after this. But we're gonna wait till this cutscene ends so we actually get the completion. I'm also gonna we actually have to wait for the. We're gonna get a progress saving checkpoint. We're gonna wait for that to just put out. So I am gonna check our chapter 13 complete.
I gave up, Ellie.
That's probably one of the worst chapters. I'm
so sorry.
I don't think we missed anything.
Must be the place.
Confident.
But how the hell do
We have time to check anyway.
She must have a lab up there someplace. We should look for an office.
Go to chapter 13. We want to see 100%.
We can take that to the entrance. Come on.
%. Nice. Okay, that's what we. All right. So we're actually gonna go back to chapter 5 now. Go station. Now some of these things are kind of just routed because there's a bench, a good opportunity to drop some items. That's part of the reason why we do this here. But we're gonna do an align clip, line into the ceiling to clip out. And this is 4 station skip. This is actually, so I wasn't around for this, so I hope I'm not getting it wrong. But I believe this was the first Hero G out of bounds like skip found. Although I think there was a different method of doing it when it was originally. But we're clipping out, we're flying all the way up here, and the idea is we're hitting a checkpoint along the way. We can load that skips a bunch of the level, including the part that we already did beginning of the run. That should be high enough now. Nice, we got it. Okay, call that elevator, which is gonna skip an enemy spawn later.
Okay, I see the problem now. Someone left a bunch of cargo on the tracks.
And now we get to do a little bit of space Tetris.
I should be able to. I'll get to that shuttle and aft section one way or another.
We gotta clear the junk out of the way. I always mess up a couple of these. But so far so good. Oh wait, that's the one that started. Yeah, there's one of them you don't even have to move. All right, I'm gonna try to do something called a melee cancel here, because of the button I'm using, it's gonna buffer a stomp. Oh, okay, there we go. I missed it last time I did that. I wanted to try to make sure I got it. But yeah, you can interrupt the melee animation. See me maybe do it in elevators a few times like this. You can interrupt the beginning of the melee animation with aiming. I believe that's the only place in these where it actually time to do that. Usually just kind of a funny thing to do in the elevator. The hitbox actually doesn't come out though. If you want to try this, it's basically just you press the melee button, you just aim right after like a certain window. If you do it too late, it just won't happen, and the actual punch comes out.
If you're running low on ammo, don't forget your kinesis module. Here, I found this recording when I was stuck on Titan Station.
But yeah, now that we did all that, we skipped a good chunk of the level. Go through and clean up the rest of the chapter 5 items. We're gonna do something called regenerator skip here. Skip a cutscene by boosting up here and rolling over. Oh, or we're gonna hit the cutscene anyway. That's fine. Okay, puts us right there. So we. Okay. Yeah, it just it skips a cutscene of this enemy called a regenerator appearing. You don't even really see him, I don't think. But they do usually chase you around, kind of like the Ubermorph at the end of Dead Space 2. If you pick out its limbs, it'll grow back, and it just keeps chasing you. There's no way to kill it. Except, I guess, at the end of Terra Nova, big turn. Besides that. Okay. So now that we did that, we're gonna head back over to chapter 14, Rosetta Labs, and like I said, part of the reason we do that is just because there's a bench on the way, and it's just sort of convenient, a convenient part of the run to just dump all the items we're holding. Clear up some space. I guess to catch up on the story, we're gonna find this out pretty soon here, but we're gonna find well, Rosetta's lab. We find out Rosetta was part of an alien civilization that also discovered the marker and the necromorph and everything, and they created this big machine to
I'll shoot directions to your rig. We'll meet at the facility.
basically keep it under control. See a little bit more of that later. But yeah, like that says there, we're trying to find our way into the facility now. We are still going to skip most of Rosetta Labs for now, but we do have to come back and grab some more stuff later. But now we're still kind of here. And we're gonna see that Danik is not too far behind either.
Heads up. Looks like Danik has had time to regroup.
Damn it. How do we find Rosetta if she's been dead for 200 years?
Wait a minute. There. Rosetta Lab. It's here.
All right. And there we go. We're at the lab. Okay. So the labs are broken up into a few different sections, and we can't access them all immediately. And in order to get to the part we really want to get to, where we can do the lab skip, we're gonna have to go pick up a key card first. Oh, nice. Okay. I thought he was gonna swipe at me. Oh, getting comboed. Comboed. Nice. Okay. All right. A little quick roll just in case. Has to go grab. All right. All right. So a bit of a funny thing here. These are all the pieces of Rosetta. We gotta assemble them all. Story purposes. We're actually gonna grab this one early. Ball. Throw it over here.
So we're here to assemble a codex. That makes sense.
A slide into place. Everything working as it should.
According to this, we're here to
that just saves a little bit of time. We're gonna have to still interact with this button here, but we don't have to actually like take it over there. While you know. Basically we do that ahead of time.
Why?
But yeah, basically that's the whole point of this level. Really, the next two chapters is to assemble all the pieces that put them in the right order. Solving that puzzle gives you a bunch of lore stuff about how you know the alien civilization discovered the marker, all this stuff. It actually has been a little bit since I played the game glitchless, but I'm pretty sure that's where they discover the moon. That's sort of the whole big deal, the cosmic horror aspect of this game. Forgive me if anyone who's more knowledgeable if I butcher this, but essentially, the necromorph mass, you know, gets together, it forms this big like that can spread the marker signal to more places.
according to the records,
you know, continue to make more necromorphs and just...
out of storage by Dr. Serrano. Well, there are 3
And that's what the whole, you know, big alien machine we're gonna see a little bit later does. Is kind of like
one or all of them.
Well,
Most of the
you know,
doors
kind
were
of do
locked
it.
down from what I could see.
Yeah, well, you're in luck.
Finally gonna get our key card
A
here.
security pass. You want to give it a
Ellie
shot?
decides to give it.
Hey, why not?
Okay.
Thanks. Find out what you can about how assembling Rosetta will create a codex. I'll explore the labs and recover the rest of the Rosetta cells.
Initiating decontamination. Please hold still.
All right, now we can head over to one of the next sections of the lab.
It looks like there are 3 primary buildings in this facility. The one we're in now is biology. There's one for paleontology and one for geological studies.
Which one should I check out first?
Doesn't matter. Just be careful.
Yeah, they kind of leave it up to you which way you want to go first. But again, we have a very specific place we want to go. Skip the rest of the level. So, yeah, we are still in chapter 14. We're gonna try to get to a checkpoint at the end of chapter 15, and then just keep going on. I did mention, so there's the prologue, and then there's 19 chapters. We want to get up to chapter 18, and once we do that, we'll pretty much have unlocked everything that we can warp to. And once we make it to 18, that's when we're gonna start going back and knocking out all the optional missions. We're gonna go turn VSync on again. This is gonna lock the game at 30 FPS. It's gonna make it a bit easier to clip out of this lift here. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint here. Safety. Otherwise, you gotta ride the elevator back up if you miss. All right. Set up my angle here. We're gonna crouch and then try to interact with this at just the right time, so that it'll close. If we're too far left here, it's not gonna activate. If it's at the wrong time like that, it'll just stun us. A little bit tricky on the timing. There we go. Nice. All right, we clipped out of the elevator. Good. So once the elevator gets to the bottom, it's going to deload, and we're gonna fall. Which is we're actually gonna die if we don't reload, which might not seem super useful, but we do hit a checkpoint, and that does a couple things. One of which, the most important, is it actually saves the position of... Oh wait, I think we need to make... Or don't we? Yeah, okay. Right, we didn't have enough tungsten. We're gonna do that now, which is fine because the bench right here. I am still broke.
I don't fault you for it, but you may be surprised to know that I'm a man of science, a man of fact and reason.
He's probably due. Oh yeah, this all for a lot. Nice. Okay.
Soon, you'll understand that I'm
there we go. Okay, now we got some. All right. The same. Oh yeah. So it saves the position of the elevator on the bottom, and that's going to be very useful in it here. All right. I did grab the kind of out of order. Okay, I did grab. Just making sure. Okay, so now we can go back. The elevator is going to be at the bottom, and we're going to try to clip on top of the elevator as it comes back up. That's coming away. All right, at least. Okay. All right, so we call the elevator back up. The gap in between there is very small, just enough that we can crouch clip through it by spamming crouch very quickly. You can't just crouch clip through anything. It has to be a very thin wall or space like that. Once we're on top, we can do another little crouch clip. And now we're up above the level. We're gonna do another, we're just gonna uncrouch here, and this is actually gonna clip us up through that ceiling. We'll see that a little bit more in the run later, but it's a pretty useful thing you can do just to clip through walls that are directly above you. Or wall boosting. Loops here. and then drop down into this checkpoint. Go, nice. All right, so now we get the Rosetta Labs fight. This is one of the tougher fights in the entire game, and is definitely one of the main reasons why you need to have some kind of decent gun by this point. We just get a bunch of late game enemies. So we did upgrade the clip on our gun, but I am trying to... Oh, he's going after him. But we still don't have a lot of ammo in the actual part of our gun that does a lot of damage. So we're trying to use some kinesis and other things. Try to use these rockets, actually, if possible. Okay, actually, he's a little close. Oh my god, I don't know if I can throw power. They're not gonna... Okay, it's not gonna hit me also. All right. Okay, time to take this guy. We usually want to use a rocket or two. Why is that not hitting him? There we go. Okay. All right, now we're gonna try to do something called a reload cancel, which is basically just if you get hit while you're reloading, like that, it finishes the animation and reloads the gun. So, since those guys are so fast, we try to just reload before we get hit. Especially because, you know, our gun has a pretty small clip and the reload is not super fast either. Speeds that up quite a bit. Alright, we get one of my personal favorite, if not my favorite level in the Descent coming up. This is chapter 16. And it's another rappel section, which you would think, oh, wouldn't that be bad? Because wasn't cliffs kind of annoying? Well, the downwards rappels are actually pretty fun. It's just the climbing ones where you have to climb up. Anytime you have these, I think they're pretty fun. But we are going to do a mini version of the 80% descent skip. So once we get down towards the bottom of this rappel, I'm gonna kind of wiggle back and forth, and it actually lets us get a little bit further down than the game normally lets you. So right here, it's gonna wiggle forward back to get out of bounds here, and then we're gonna drop down off the rappel, but out of bounds here. And this is really important because it hasn't come up yet really, but there's a fall timer in this game, and if you fall for too long, you just die. And it doesn't actually activate there until much later because of how we got off the L, so we're able to fall way lower than you. We're gonna do another one of these 30 FPS wall boost to get out of bounds. This is pretty new. I love this trick. It's very funny. I'm trying to line myself up here, and then if this works, it's a little bit weird. We're gonna bounce off the geometry here and land on this platform. It's all just to skip some more rappel stuff, and then we're gonna do roll here to hopefully land all the way down here. Nice, we got it. Okay, that's awesome. Grab this checkpoint, and then we're actually gonna do a save and quit. Fix load here, because otherwise there's actually a locked door here to be able to get through, and this part of the time save here is it actually skips doing another one of those puzzles where you gotta like move things really slowly. That door there and that puzzle.
The moon is the source of the city.
All right, we're now going to grab a different suit, the elite suit, which not only looks cool, it also gives us more inventory slots. So that means we have to do a few less bench visits throughout the rest of the runs, and give a little bit of time to grab. And a little bit low on some resources earlier, so hopefully we still have enough. But going to try to upgrade my armor a little bit here. Nice. Okay. Again, that's just to make some of the damage boost a little bit more comfortable because we got to get hit a bunch. Line gun boost. don't really have to, but these guys do a little bit of damage, so it can be good to. So this is this game's equivalent of the Dead Space 1 and 2 brutes. Hey Eduardo, you missed it. Hey, don't worry, dude. We still got quite a bit left of this run. At least like over an hour and a half left. Yeah, we got plenty of time. In my opinion, the second half of the run is even better than the first half. So I'd say you got your. We did. I mean, there. We did still do a lot of cool stuff. We did miss the cool descents. So I'm gonna. Yeah, no, for sure, dude. I'll be on right after this. Definitely not going right to bed. Alright, this is probably the first part of the run where I actually do kind of double check my notes. Partially just because there's some puzzles.
For reinforcements. But how will they reach us? We can open the ventilation systems from in here. Clear a path for the dropships. Do it now.
Isaac, you all right? Carver, he's here. He's headed to the machine.
Can you reach him?
Alright, more story
Find a way to
time.
the city. We'll try to meet up on the way.
The misshapen moon in orbit. That's what controls the markers. It's the end state of these creatures. Or rather,
I'll just let him explain.
You see,
Better
the
than I.
natives of this planet constructed a machine that froze the moon in mid-formation. But it wasn't enough. Even half-formed, the moon's marker signal speaks to the markers back home. And it doesn't end there. There is a network of brethren moons spanning the stars. As each one completes, it connects to this network, making them aware. If this moon should complete, its brothers will all come, looking for food. But there is hope. The natives never finished configuring the machine. It wasn't meant to merely freeze the moon, it was meant to destroy it. You'll need the Codex. It is the key to unlocking this machine and reconfiguring it. Follow my trail into the heart of the machine and end this nightmare.
Carver, did you hear that? The machine can crush the moon.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be the goal of the next chapter is gonna reconfigure the machine. Alright. I'm gonna take this opportunity to grab a little bit more water again. So I'll be right.
The passage using some kind of alien glyphs. I'm gonna look for a way to bypass it.
My God.
Holy shit. This must be ground zero.
And that must be the machine.
So I guess this is it, huh?
Yeah. This is it.
I need you to promise me something. If I don't make it, you'll get this done, right?
We'll get this done, Carver. You and me.
Yeah, but if I don't... I helped get us this far. And that's close enough for all this to count, right?
Count for what?
For... I don't know, just... all the bad I've done.
Oh, shut up, Carver. You're a good man.
I alienated my son. Wrecked my family. Isaac, I killed Santos. Is that what a good man does?
Good men mean well. We just don't always end up doing well.
Yeah. They find out about these moons that want to continue to marker signal, eat everybody. We don't want that to happen. We need to get the codex so we can use the machine to destroy.
This way. Clear that rubble. Look, Danny. It's not too late.
We'll turn it back now, right?
Let's go get that codex.
Right, let me just double check real quick. That's another one and done chapter. Little piece.
Danik, you have to stop.
Is that you?
Try to slow him down.
You are unbelievably hard to kill. Are you aware of that?
Danik, do you know about the moon?
Oh wait, we can actually do we can. This only saves a little bit of time. I don't always do it, but we can actually do a little bit of a wall boost here.
If you turn off the machine,
skip blowing up this thing here.
And then it and all its brothers find our markers, find us, and wipe us out.
How can you presume to know its intentions? You
There we
fear
go.
it because you don't understand it.
Danik, hear me out. Danik, are you listening to me?
Isaac, there he is. Danik.
So Danik has the codex. We gotta chase him real quick, try to get it back. This explosive we actually have to do.
Stop him at any cost.
Isaac, he's getting away. Hang on. I got a plan.
And we pretty much get the codex right now.
Isaac, I got you. The fuck kind of plan is this? Give it to me. Christ, you're heavy. Isaac, you're slipping. Isaac.
All right. So this level actually does have an optional mission as well. We're going to unlock it here. And activating this this hack panel here, guys in the way. All right. This actually starts an audio log, which we do need to get. We're gonna grab that and then keep going. The most confusing room in the game. Got a little disoriented there myself. Go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Trying not to throw it to the script, but as long as it's out of the way, that's fine.
What about stasis?
What about it?
Think it's enhanced too?
Try it.
All right, so we're gonna call that elevator down, and I'm actually gonna do a crouch clip there. And this is gonna save a little bit of time over taking the elevator all the way up and down here. Up there as well. Alright, so we gotta move this into the right shape and then activate for us. A little small optimization. These things do kind of float up as they get towards the top, so you don't have to actually drag it all the way. You can let go and start the next one. Alright, so now that the elevator's at the bottom, since we called it down, we can do another crouch clip after this cutscene here and just drop all the way down.
Oh, God. This isn't a city, Carver. All of this is the machine.
Holy hell. Okay, you're the engineer. How do we fix it?
We'll follow Serrano's clues and reconfigure the machine. I just opened a conduit to the heart of the city. If there's a control center for the Codex, that's where it'll be. Meet me there.
Right. We're pretty close. Getting to chapter 18. Finishing our first half of the run. I use quotes there because it time-wise it is more than that, but it is really like a big divide out, because up to this point we are still pretty much progressing story. But after we reach chapter 18, we're not gonna come back and actually finish until the very end. Ready to go beat the game. Got a couple more items to grab here. Definitely never missed that item right there before. That is actually, like, if you were gonna miss one, that is one of the ones, because it's very fast. I can get. You know, if someone were to miss it, not saying that I have done. If one were to. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna be jumping all around here. We're going back to Rosetta Labs for a bit. Rosetta Labs, we'll call it. So I like to call this the big craft because it's the most involved in the whole run. Making 2 different guns. So we're gonna turn this gun on the left. Pretty different. I'm gonna sell all the frames that we don't need. Make this a plasma core. Sell that. That's that. We got precision tip on it. Awesome. Traction Taurus. All right. So now, these are our real beefy. This is our damage gun. A real beefy gun. So we're gonna put as many damage on as we can. That it could be okay, but we're gonna sell some. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, so that's our big DPS gun. Got a contact beam on the top and a chain lightning gun. Good. We're gonna dismantle our plasma cutter, that frame, and that. And I think. Oh wait, I need to put. That would have been bad if I forgot to do that. We don't really need any circuits on that one. That's our utility weapon. So we don't really need to add a lot of damage or anything like that. The clip and reload's all fine. Cool. So that will be our loadout for the rest of the run. We should for crafting. The rest of our bench visits are just gonna dump items. Get everything out of our inventory. So now that we're returning to Rosetta Labs from this specific load, it basically treats it like we've completed the level already, or at least most of it. So all these doors, everything are gonna be unlocked already. So we're doing our item clean. Now we're gonna grab everything we didn't get. First time through one of those Rosetta Lab pieces we're not gonna get and put together.
Being garbled by the second set of DNA. The aberration. We found a new specimen today.
And it's actually really nice that we do that, especially in this room. A ton of enemy spawn here. At least the first time. All that, so it starts up. Alright. One really nice thing about that chain lightning gun that we got is weapon perk. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to remember with some of the work bar rooms specifically. A lot of them look very similar. Getting my notes handy for. Yeah, most of it I all have memorized. It's just some of the very later parts of the run, like the later optional missions, I do like to just double check. Because again, some of the missions are very slow. Like some of the items we miss are very slow to go back and do. It just kind of requires you to.
It is well known that the surface of all markers contains
Which we are trying to. And also, a lot of you'll see it more once we get to optional missions that are just outs, slightly different. Like it's a lot of reuse. So it genuinely gets kind of confusing where you are, or like, okay, this one it's the same room, but you know we've got an item here, but in the same version, next one it's different. Okay, now we're gonna do our first co-op mission, but in solo. You in fact do not need a second player technically to get into this mission. So in the last segment we loaded the actual co-op mission marker. This time we loaded disposal services, single player mission. So loading that co-op mission in the menu actually unlocks it. It unlocks the hub area in our tram here. Now, not that simple. This gets us to the hub area. You then still need to take another elevator down, and that is locked by a co-op players, right? So we have a way around this, and we're gonna get out of bounds and drop into the mission, hopefully. And we're gonna see this vending machine. We're gonna do about 5 of these clips. So you'll get pretty familiar to this vending machine by the end of the. But that's what we're gonna use to get onto the ceiling. And this is the co-op mission out of the 3 that we are not going to finish, but we are going to get all the items. We can't finish the last fight without Carver. We can do everything else. So we're going to do a wall boost, vending machine, and then once we get high enough, crouch, headbox the wall. We want to be a little bit higher, and that fortunately gets us all the way on top. We're gonna do a couple crouches, flip, cooperates. There we go. Okay, this thing is super finicky. There's all kinds of stuff it can do, but we uncrouch until it moves us to a very particular spot, and then forward. Crouching again, uncrouch, and that boosts us up on the ceiling. Okay, all right. Yeah, these vending machine clips are super weird. You'll probably see some other weird stuff happen. But now that we're up here, we're gonna back roll, which will hopefully land us on a door. Loaded. Okay. Position, drop off, and then open the door. Nice, we got it. Okay, all right. That one really sucks if you miss, because you gotta take that tram. We made it. We are now in the co-op mission. Grab this item. And now we have probably the most annoying skip in the run. Oh, did it actually... There we go. Okay. Or 2. Okay, so this is one of the weirdest, sort of random, difficult, I guess if you want to call it, skips in the run. It honestly does have the potential to be the biggest run killer if you're actually trying to get a... Kind of annoying because it's over 2 hours in, but yeah, this is hallucination skip. So if we open the door downstairs here, the bottom floor, it's gonna start a hallucination sequence. Carver, not here. And once he finishes killing all the enemies, the door unlocks. So we can't go through the door, at least. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna wall boost up here, and we're gonna hope that this is the random part. We're gonna try to do a crouch clip by uncrouching wall here and trying to hit a checkpoint. So it may take a few tries. It is a little random, like I said. See how much it cooperates, but we have a visual cue, we line up with it, and we kind of just hope the game cooperates. Ooh, I hope I hit that. Yes! Oh, dude, okay, that was really good, actually. Okay, nice. No complaints there. I'll take it, I'll take it. So, yeah, we got the clip, managed to hit the checkpoint. It's very possible to clip and also not hit the checkpoint, so that's why I was waiting to see until we reloaded there. Alright, well, that's a relief. As long as we didn't miss an item, and then, but we haven't. So. And I mean, backing that up's not too bad. You can just do it again, but it is a hassle. Also, because you have to go back up and grab the item on the top floor, so you gotta take the elevator again. Very obnoxious. Take everything. Nice. All right. So we got everything in marker containment except for one audio log, and I didn't forget it. We just can't grab it there. So we do actually have to go back and do a good chunk of that again, but we're not gonna, like, once we actually get into the level in a different place. And again, it is max percent. We do have to get the highest percent possible, even if it's not super fast to do so. Sort of in a similar vein as a low percent, right? But kind of like similar, but the opposite at the same time. So with low percent, if you can skip it, you have to. It's if you can pick it up, you have to. We're doing this whole segment here for one audio log, but same trick. The hub area for the co-op mission is still active RAM, so we can go there, and then we're gonna do the same vending machine out of bounds to get on the ceiling. But then we're gonna do a different lineup to hopefully land in a different part. Checking the Dead Space runs is always so cool. Love a Sharkhat run. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to talk about these games and show them off. They're super cool. And I started just running them because I like the games. I do also tend to like very glitchy, so I got kind of lucky that they ended up having a lot of cool tech as well. A lot of fun stuff to do. This is also pretty much the only really good, like, 100% complete kind of category for the Dead Space games, in my opinion, at least. Hey, QQ, how's it going? Doing well, also. All right. There we go. Yes, I don't know why it gave me so much trouble to flip in there. Taking this nice and slow, because there's a lot of weird stuff that can happen. It can clip you to the side, and it can also clip you inside the vending machine, which soft locks. Very fun stuff. Something called a stomp launch here. With a checkpoint, then I can expand. Nice. Okay, that's awesome. All right. Pretty clean marker containment. Cannot complain. Definitely the scariest level in the run. Up there. Nice. So a stomp launch, it's kind of similar to those damage boosts we did, the explosives off a ledge. You get knocked off a ledge, your horizontal speed gets locked until you touch the ground again. So it doesn't almost look like it, but that exact moment when you leave the ground, that part of the stomp animation, actually you do have a lot of speed in that exact moment, even though the stomp itself, you know, doesn't do. It's just like that exact moment it like shoots you for, like that, right? So that is the speed you're capturing by leaving the ledge at that moment. And it is faster than sprinting off. So it almost doesn't look like it because you're just, you know, again, this doesn't make it look like you're moving, but it's that exact part of the animation where it gives you a lot of speed. That's why that worked. A damage boost does still send you faster, but you know, it's a bit of a challenge sometimes because you know you can't just like air control your way into something. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just fall off a ledge and then, oh, let me correct my movement real quick. Let me just like pull back, pull forward a little bit. Like you are committed to the direction you're going, like the path until you touch the ground. So it's a bit of a puzzle sometimes to figure out the exact way to leap the edge. So we aim walk off, aim walk sideways, walk backwards, sprint off, stomp launch. You get the idea, right? So in that sense, a stomp launch gets you exactly where you need to hit that checkpoint. So now we're back in chapter 6, actually. We didn't really play almost any of earlier
We'll have to remote pilot it back to the
app
repair bay
station.
on the
So
Roanoke.
there's a few items we got to get in this room, but the main thing is we got to open that locked door, which we don't currently have a way to skip past. It's not something that's particularly fast. So we're gonna sort of do the objective here. We're gonna do it a little faster than you're do towards the end. But this is back on the part of the game where you're trying to fix up the crozier. Pull that cover off there. You can sometimes grab this item. Grab the ammo and stuff. Yeah, it's a bit particular trying to grab that, but you can do it from. Grabbing 3 parts here to make a thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember the exact piece putting in. That's piece 3 of remote, so we're making a remote. There you go. But yeah, we had to grab those pieces. We're gonna assemble that at the bench and then put it in the thing over there. Find zone in case an enemy pops up here. We need this to complete to actually make the remote. At this point, if we get hit, it's actually fine because it cancels us out of the bench animation. Quite get lucky there. All right, so I'm gonna get blown up. Maybe. What is this prop in my way? Okay. So we're gonna crouch clip through here. Put that in. That unlocks the door. You're not supposed to actually stand on the shuttle, but there we go. Because of where we dropped down, we missed a load trigger, so it actually doesn't visually load part of the level there, but it's all still solid.
Here, sending you the coordinates.
Okay. I'll head up and refuel the shuttle. You can try restarting it after that.
Go ahead and grab our last item. Cool. Like I said, jumping all around now. Back to Rosetta Labs again. So we're done with the marker containment, which is one of 3 optional missions. Knockout Reaper Barracks. This is probably one of the shortest optional missions. Not too crazy.
Entering the barracks of the 163rd. Keep your ID visible.
Hey, Carver. I'm in the barracks of the 163rd. I bet they had access to some pretty cool toys. Somebody got shop happy. They're separate heads.
A lot of mileage out of our force gun here. Knock these enemies out of the way. So this is actually interesting, right? So when I said, okay, there's a little bit of a caveat to what I said about if it exists, you have to grab it. We base max percent everything off of the game's own in-game progression tracker. So you just try to get that as close to 100% as possible. So everything else that doesn't count for that, we don't do. That trying to say like, oh, well, what's completionist? What's 100%? You know, is it maxing out all your upgrades? That included, you know, stuff like that. So short answer is like for that, no. We don't have to, you know, like build every single weapon. And we don't have to get Pang. And Pang is in that room. It's a little Easter egg in all these games, like a statue you can pick up.
These guys are ready to take
So this is the mission where Pang is. We already passed the room in, but Pang does actually not count
I'll see if I can find my way back
towards the completion for some reason. Okay, there we go. Nice. Got a little bit of an animation cancel there. You might have seen very briefly the panel kind of like moving by itself. So I started the animation, got hit, and that interrupted it, but it still completed it. Oh, he tried to grab me. Yeah, you just get absolute. There's a bunch of enemies here. Once they're all taken out, though, now we can do the back panel. Doing some rolls to these two because they'll stagger you and hit them normally, but the roll gives that enemy. Right. Now, we're gonna go finish up chapter 4. So this is the Brusilov. We've not been here yet. This is the one optional mission that we have not found a way to get into. Just as a reminder, if we ever do, you can get all the items and you can complete it by yourself. And that would put you at 99.5%. So literally the only thing besides this mission you can't do is complete the objective for worker containment. Other co-op mission we already. In theory, if the battlefield that Carver normally gets teleported to is loaded from there, and you could get out of bounds in like thing you need to, and you could do this mission, maybe someday you actually could do 100% solo. But till then, 97.7 is the highest that we. Okay. So yeah, we can't get in the Brusilov, but we can grab those items outside. Now we're at the Greeley. Came here pretty early in the game, but we're actually going to do the optional mission now. But we're going to sequence break it a little bit. So we're going to actually wiggle clip inside of the ship. See that the actual like full level isn't loaded. The outside. Man. Okay. But the cool thing is the key card you need to complete the final objective is just still floating here. So we can grab it right now. And then we actually have to clip back out of the ship. Up here. Force ourselves out of here. Oh, almost. Nice. Okay. Now we can actually enter the level normally. And this does cut out a bit of backtracking, running back to the beginning of the level.
Hey Santos, I made
Alright.
it inside the Greeley.
So we can do a few wall boosts to speed up some of these ladders by not having to climb them.
Roger that.
Up, fall down. Use that key card we picked up from out of bounds. And that is technically the optional mission completed already.
I'm sending you the decryption key now.
But of course, there are items to collect. So
Santos.
another ladder skip here.
On purpose?
Get that started to fix the elevator.
Santos, power's on.
I see it. The lockdown is originating from the radio room.
Set my waypoint. I'll head there.
Puzzles. I don't think I really explained these, but it's pretty straightforward. You just have to match the, I guess the power to the right thing. Not too crazy. It's the same every time, so you just have to memorize. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. Right, I don't think I should have made a few more torque bars when we did that other craft earlier. Yeah, our torque bar routing got a little messed up. That's fine. I just have to... Okay, wait, let's go ahead and do this. There we go. We need to go in here anyway for an item. Okay. That kind of works out because we already did everything to turn the power back on. Normally it's offline. We got tons of resources. And that actually should be enough for the rest of the run. If not, most of the other ones also have benches right next to them. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good backup. Got everything. Right. Already got the item in the bathroom, so we're good. Keep going. Guys out of the way. Grab you. Alright, gotta be careful here. This electricity does take a little bit to here. Go. Okay. After this, we will be done with chapter 4, but this is one of the few chapters we're not gonna get Hundo in. But 79.4 is the highest we can get, so that is correct. We didn't miss anything. Chapter 4, that's awesome. Alright. So again, continuing our jumping around. It's actually is usually where we would now drop off more items, but I guess we just the bench. I'll do it anyway just to make sure the routing is the inventory. Yeah. But yeah, this would normally be the last optional mission. Right at the And once again, just a bunch of items we gotta grab. I always forget. For some reason, I always think there's one there. Got this text log. Ow. This is an enemy you don't really get to see too much, especially in any percent. These Medusa floating things. All right, so coming up here is artifact storage skip, very creatively named, but it's gonna skip a bunch of combat. We're gonna do a kinesis launch downwards here because that room technically isn't. We're gonna open this door, which actually changes the way the levels look. We're gonna come up here, and we're gonna have to do some kind of awkward align clips. It's a little dark, but you'll just have to trust me. We're align clipping to try to get through a wall here. Almost. Okay, we almost made it to push. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see. Okay, we made it through the first wall. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we can align clip through this wall. Now we're out of bounds. We're gonna do another kinesis launch. So we're gonna get. Again, using kinesis when you hit the edge of a 0G. Will launch you in the direction your feet are facing, so we just launch way across the level. Hit a checkpoint towards the end. Bunch of combat. Now we get probably my personal least favorite room in the game. Wait. Whoa, wait, how did I do that? Oh my god, wait, we're gonna have to come back and look at it later. Okay, there's a trigger for a bunch of enemies there. Oh, I went to the wrong. Wait, that's actually crazy. Okay, I need to come back and look at that later. I was about to say this is my least favorite room in the game because there's a bunch of enemies that spawn and harass you here, but they just didn't spawn. We take those. Wait. Okay, I'll have to clip that and look at that later. We need to figure out how I did that. Maybe I must have dodged the trigger for them somehow. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a marathon without I've never seen that one before, but That's amazing. Okay. Apparently you can skip that. All right, well, that brings us pretty much to the end of artifact storage. We got one more item to grab here. I mean, there's something like that was discovered in Dead Space 2. Wow, I'd never gotten grabbed there either. That's crazy. There's a thing that got found in Dead Space 2 a year or two ago using debug view to view triggers, where we found for this one fight, you can fit through a gap between triggers. And it's very precise. Like, it wouldn't have gotten found probably without being able to triggers, but that's crazy. It might be a similar thing there where you can dodge it. I don't know. Well, I'll take it. But yeah, it's just very annoying because you get like 5 or 6 lurkers that spawn. It's hard to see them. The way the audio pans, it's also kind of hard to like locate where they are. It's generally just kind of a pain. Yeah, sorry. We also come here to get into a different mission as well. So, like, I have my splits up too, kind of remind me, because again, a lot of these vending machine out of bounds are very similar. It can be hard to remember correctly. There we go. I don't know why it's giving me. Probably just my exact pouches. Made it in. Up on the ceiling. Nice. All right. So now we're going to do another damage boost to get into armory. This actually is a single player mission, but it is just a little bit faster to do this. Desync on. So I haven't mentioned this exactly because it hasn't actually come up, but you do happen to fall a little bit slower at 30 FPS, and it just makes it so you get a little bit extra distance too. So it makes hitting that checkpoint a little bit easier. There's that Chain Lightning Gun being really, really good by hitting a bunch of enemies in one shot.
Great. Don't get killed before you can use it. Thanks, Carver.
Grab one of these. Oh, looked like a health pack. Usually, if you're pretty significantly low health, the game will drop you a health pack. I think we're maybe just above that. There you go. Ow. There's that health back. Oh no! What else? I ammo. Okay. All right, we got the reload cancel. Oh, 3 in a row. Wow. Rough one. I got a fight sequence here to unlock the door. Nice. Always a little afraid in that room because there was one run I had where I soft locked after that fight, and we don't know why. We're just didn't open. Had to load. Very tragic. We're coming up to a level pretty soon where we're doing a bench visit. Where I usually make health packs anyway. Make it. Yeah, they don't do a very good job of stopping me. Alright, so this is actually, if you remember all the way back when we did drill skip, that's where this is. Again, don't have to do the puzzle, the actual fight here. Actually, even if we did enter this, the fight not done, you have to grab the items. Down. Alright, so there was one item armor we did. Sounds familiar. We did earlier, but this time it's a lot easier. We can just enter the level normally. Items right there. Pretty sure. Is it here? But yeah, just because of how much space there is in between item and items we got and the level, it does end up being faster to still out of bounds that we did. Go. Load one more time. Bunch of items outside the kind of like chapter 12 area again that we didn't play. We do have to be careful not to, not that it's too hard to do this, but if we had messed up our, fork bar. But we want to be careful not to use any benches, because if you load this area, it gives you the probe thing you normally need. Skipped it, but you need it to the whole signal tracking thing, the Nexus. So yeah, it just gives you the probe gun. Does this whole animation, and then you've got to go into your safe, put the probe gun away, get your other weapon in. Like it just replaces one of your weapon slots. Heckin'.
Watching this film, it means despite our every precaution, containment has become a necessity. It is now up to us to make the ultimate sacrifice for the safety of the sovereign colonies that we have sworn to protect.
Usually a drop in ammo is...
If you were watching this film,
this is kind of one of those points that I was talking about where even if you did have health packs, it'd kind of be bad because it's taking up. Yo, what's up, Anarchy? How's it going? I hope you're doing well. All right, on to Supply Depot. Chapter 9. So we'll be done with Chapter 9 after this. Yeah, so if you couldn't tell, we were fully in just the optional mission part of the run. Most of the rest of the run is loading into all these and clearing them. Once we're done with that, we can beat the last two. Grab everything there. There is a quit out you can do here. And we usually do it in regular runs with loads removed, but I actually don't. It might actually still be faster. Pretty negative. Okay. Finally, get rid of all these items. I think we're good on torque bar since we made some extras earlier, but I am gonna make some health pack. Might make more later if we need to, but hopefully that should be fine. Okay. It's an optional mission, so you guessed it. We're doing a vending machine out of. We don't do it in all of them, but we do quite a bit of. Oh, and again, this is still a single player mission. We're not required to do this, but it is just faster to go out of bounds. This is one of the ones we really hope we don't miss. It's a lot of these vending. A lot of them, you gotta take ram over to, and this elevator's like 50 seconds. I don't understand why it's so long. It definitely does not take that long to load this area. I mean, unless I'm just wrong, but I think they just made the elevator move slow for some reason. Again, I couldn't tell you. Also, it is a bit dark here, but it is the same idea. We're just up on top of the vending machine. This one also is just kind of weird sometimes. I don't know if the collision is actually different, but I feel like this one course, this one will probably just work. Yeah, this one has a tendency to just like push us back out. Oh, and there it is. I'm dead. Okay, well, classic, dude. Okay. I had to have one on at least one. Okay, well, we have to take this elevator again, but that's all right. We got it this time. So, yeah, it's not uncommon for at least one of these vending machine clips not to work. It's a really finicky clip, and you got to do it 5 times. Like, it's just... It's bound to happen sometimes. But, yeah, so like I said, sometimes it just decides, instead of clipping you forward, it's going to clip you left, and you just go out of bounds and you die. The other fun meme is you clip down in the vent. Fucking thing. Both are equally bad. You gotta reload. But that's okay. That being said, we are still doing good on time. Now, I hope it doesn't troll us this time. All right, so let's try this again. Wall boost. Crouch here to get all the way up. Okay. And okay, this looks like a better position. Oh, and it clipped me back out. Okay, yeah. So this is the thing that happens on this one. This is why I'm convinced this one's different. Oh, it actually almost let me. Okay. And we're up. Okay. All right. That's the hard part down. All right. So now we need to carefully ledge. Oh. Flicks your aim up. All right. Damage boost here. And we're in. Nice. Okay.
All right. There's something wrong with this planet. Something very, very
Now we're gonna pretty much do all these missions that all look the same back to back. I mean, they don't look exactly the same, but you'll kind of, if you pay attention, you'll kind of see some of these look very similar to do some of the next missions. We're gonna not do what I did in some of my practice, which was quit out of this thing. This is one of the ones that we would just have to replay the whole thing. Not good. Because we haven't done any of them yet, but some of these missions, there's 3 of them, have a similar kind of fight at the end. Where you kill a bunch of enemies, then a chest comes down, you grab all the items. In this one, we don't want to quit out after that. I did that in that. I'm gonna avoid that. Wait, did they get the door open? Wait. I gotta see this. Hold on. Did they? I think they clipped through the door. I'm not gonna lie. I think they did. That's crazy. Not to add on to the, I haven't seen that one before. That is pretty. I almost did that. That was close. Cool. Oh, also Anarchy. Since I saw you in chat here, I don't know if you saw it earlier. I'm gonna have to go back and clip it, but we accidentally kind of did a new skip-ish in this run. There we go. Wait. It's that room I always complain about in the artifact storage mission, this room with like a whole bunch of lurkers or whatever. And apparently we just dodged the trigger to spawn them. I didn't know that was possible. About to complain about how much I didn't like that room. Spawn. Figure that out. Never mind. Run out. Okay. One of my notes for the very end of the level. This or yeah, I don't know how we did that. The funny part is it's probably gonna be something super precise. If I had to guess. Alright. There we go. Okay. All right. So we are not going to quit out here. That would be a big decision. Not that I would ever do that. Okay. Yeah, this is the room where we just get the artifact. There's literally an identical room that has an artifact there. Yes, got that. Get log and then okay. Then we should see 100% on chapters 8 and 9. Sensibly. Love to see it. Okay, we're good. Gonna clean things up for last Rosetta Labs mission now. Disposal services. So you're gonna see a few of those notifications pop up. Those are just letting you know you've collected all of a particular kind of collectible. So that's the last unitology arc. Nice little confirmation that we actually did get them all. Yep. Oh, I'm actually real. Okay, wait. This is fine. Doesn't really matter. I am technically out of order. What I usually do. But doesn't really matter. Again, a lot of the ordering of this is just kind of optimized so that you don't have to go to the bench as much. But I mean, even if you do, it's not a huge deal. Okay, this is one of the ones I will have to have. Not even that bad. It's well, usually this is like one of the last things. Kind of makes sense. But why I am not. Yeah, again, it's fun. You gotta quit to the menu anyway to load them. Or wow. Not only is that another 3 in a row, it was in the same spot as that. Duh. Okay. Puzzle. Yeah, so this is the other chapter that we are not going to actually fully complete. So we should, once we're done with this mission, we should be at 96%. Chapter 4. But that last 4% being the co-op mission. Oh, that's a bit of, okay, I have seen that before. That threw me off. So there is a funny thing that happens where if enemies are set into an animation, they are actually invincible. That's why that guy didn't die there. I don't know if I explicitly mentioned, but you've probably seen it so far. Part of the reason we get this chain lightning gun is if you hit one enemy, it actually damages a bunch of other enemies in the area. Okay, wait. All these two versions of that room have items, that one doesn't. There we go. Okay, that is everything. Cool. All right, I think I got... And this is the one where we quit out after the fight. Okay. They're here as well. Alright, if I'm gonna get grabbed by those guys, it's usually that part, so that's fine, nice. Oh. Okay. That's it. Kill you? That didn't kill him still? Doing here. Like a maybe throw it like. Yeah, so again, if it wasn't already super clear, this is another reason we don't just... Because we did not have a good gun on the way in here. 96%, nice. Okay, that's it for 15. Okay, now we're actually gonna kind of try to get back on track to order. So we're gonna load archaeology and immediately quit out. And the reason for this is the same as the other co-op mission, because this is the other, like the third co-op mission. So we actually load, once we load it from the menu like that, we're gonna go somewhere else in chapter 11. So we're gonna go to armory instead. Now when we go to that tram, we're gonna be able to take it over to the hub area. And then, you guys know what's coming. We're gonna the vending machine to get out of bounds. Once we get over there. Because again, normally there's a co-op door blocking you from getting to this hub area, but this exploit lets us still get over there. Which might not even be entirely unintentional, but because you're also blocked. Like once you get over here, you also can't go down there normally. The elevator. But yeah, with the vending machine and a little bit of creativity, I have too much problem with that. So again, this one is kind of annoying. If you do mess it up, you gotta take this. Okay, but yeah, we are gonna 100% this mission. Should be at Hundo for chapter 11 done. Double check my splits, but I think after that we only have one more optional mission. Game. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna do the thing where it clipped me into the floor. I wasn't sure. I think it's safe. No! Oh, that really sucks. Okay. Wow. So we got the unlucky thing again there. Got on supply depot. Out of bound. We do actually have to take Ram back. That's fine. It shouldn't happen again. A little annoying. But that's okay. Yeah, like I said, it's just like that. So honestly, I think that might be probably the jank. Say random because it surely probably is your time, but I don't know. It's just very finicky. That hallucination skip we did earlier, in theory, is the random part of the run, but it honestly hasn't been the worst. Recently, these can kind of just do. go. Yeah, I'm double checking. Yeah, we already did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just so we're on archaeology now. It's just this and then one more optional mission. Beat the game. All right. Try this one more. This looks better. Nice. And we're on the ceiling. Okay. All right. All right. Well, that is our last vending machine clip. As soon as we hit this checkpoint. Damage boost here. Nice. Okay, we got it. All right. That is probably the scariest trick that is left in. So that's a relief. And I would say this is probably the longest run back for a single item. It's nothing insane, all things considered, but we do have to backtrack for this item as we didn't drop in at the very beginning of the mission. Again, for these co-op missions, we'll take whatever we can get in terms of actually getting into the, like, just getting into the level at all, right? Especially like this one being able to. All right, so I guess we need to go for that audio log too, but the main thing is we're coming back for text log, and now we can. Now we're progressing forward through. I also double. We're so far so good. We have not missed anything. Especially in the more likely places to.
He's not avoiding John.
Yep.
He's just a little scared of him.
All right. Yep. So we're good there. Another. This items here. Yeah. Fortunately, unlike the other co-op mission we did, one doesn't really have the same kind of things that block you, where there's some hallucination that plays and the Carver's got to do something to progress. We can still kind of go through it pretty normally. I believe there's still certain things that don't quite work properly. Some enemy spawns and things like that, but it honestly has been a while since I did it casually. A co-op partner, so. Little small time save there. You can wall boost over that ladder, taking it down. Cool. Blueprints. Again, a little comforting, nice to actual time. No, we got it. Got it all. Okay. Our last of these fights here. That's kind of just sitting there. Okay. That was a grab. Grab attempt. That might be. Oh, okay, of course. I mean, I know there's one coming out of there, but he like blends in the ground. Another one. Another one. Damn, mate. Here is where we get artifact there. Oh, there's full, nice. Don't need those. Okay. All right, yeah. %. Chapter 10. Actually, I think we did. Okay, we might have to look. Oops. Okay, wait. Chapter 10. Okay, that's fine though. We're gonna go to Conning Towers, the last optional mission. Alright, I'm glad I checked that. Let's okay. Let's do a quick pulse check here to make sure I'm not missing anything else. That could be really easy to grab. Ending. Okay, wait, let's just. All right, oh, so this is all right. That's right. We're not done with chapter 5 yet. 1 of 4 weapon parts. Okay, that's correct. Okay, that's the only thing we missed. I did miss 1 weapon part.
But you heard Mahad's announcement.
Got the one in the torque bar room. I got the frame.
Guess you were smart enough to make it past my lockout.
After the
You
ladder.
must not be one of those no-neck dipshits on the General's goon squad.
I mean, I got the one before you moved the crates.
Your day is about to get a whole lot worse.
Unless I just didn't grab them. And I remember grabbing them. Mike's having some audio dropouts. Oh, okay, I'll try to talk a little louder. It might be the noise gate. Potentially. Why did that not? Okay. Pull up the notes. That'll be an easier way to see where the 4 of them are. Oh, wait. Could be an armory, actually.
Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated.
That's a bit more annoying. Is it? Wait. Chapter 10? I guess it is.
I'm reading a quarantine lockdown. Are you all right, Ice?
No, not really. I'm locked in.
Well, there must be an override on one of the walls.
Okay. I look for it as soon as I'm not being stabbed in the face.
Go ahead and pull this off the wall. Wait. We gotta kill the rest of his enemies. Just, again, just getting that animation out of the way faster. Oh, and he's right there. Okay.
Warning. Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown.
Yeah, I'm almost certain I got the 3 you actually get running through chapter 10, so I'm not thinking it was. No, that's chapter 11. But I think you do come up around that area.
Override accepted. Quarantine lifted. Please report this event to your superior officer.
Well, we'll see how we're doing on time. Let's see if we can figure it out. I mean, worst case, you know, we can still finish the run, but see if I can figure it out. Especially if it's like a pretty easy one to grab. And do that. That's kind of what I was talking about. Like, it'll tell you, like, it's nice enough to at least tell you like what item you missed, but I mean it's only out of 4, so it's not like insane. If I missed a weapon part in Rosetta Labs, there's like 14 parts, you know. Like, oh, I mean, could have been any of them.
Bet you didn't know you could reverse gravity plating and hammer someone into the ceiling. I gotta admit, I didn't either until I tried. Go on. Step into the gravity flow. I dare you.
Out.
Edward rigged up some kind of gravity well.
Yeah, I did. There was a spike in power usage from environmental control when it triggered.
All right, well, I guess in the meantime, we're finishing up our actual last optional conning tower here.
Here, I'll send you
Probably my personal favorite, to be honest. Casually, because of the general story and everything. Basically, there's the last guy alive here from the original colony locked himself away because they gave an order that everyone had to die. Nothing got out or whatever, but he kind of refuses and he sets all these traps.
And I can't just let you waltz into environmental.
Oh, scaff artifacts at least.
I'm sorry. Computer, arm explosives, and detonate.
Okay, wait, where is... Okay, wait, where's tower? I actually do always look.
Be seeing you.
It's not even that hard.
Contamination detected. Quarantine lockdown activated. Override accepted. Quarantine lifted. Please report this event to your superior officer.
I never wanted to hurt anybody.
Oh, wait, actually, okay. No, I don't think it's in an optional. I'm trying to think of... Okay, so there's...
To live.
Unless I just, like... I mean, there's one I can check pretty easily.
Gravity is reading normal again.
The other ones are a little more annoying.
What do you think is worse, Buckle? Dying along
Although
with
you might be able to
everyone else,
backtrack.
being the only one who survives.
It's not the dying that scares me. It's not making a difference.
Well, we'll see. I'll check what our time's at. At worst case, I think I'd rather,
Should be able to make it to the top of the conning
you know,
tower now.
finish in time. But worst case,
Edwards is around. That's where he'll
maybe we can go back and
his stash.
I'm hoping if we have enough time, we can still run back and try to find one item we missed. So okay, there's the one in the torque bar room at the beginning. This is the confusing thing. I'm thinking of all the ones that are in the level, and I remember grabbing. Okay, wait, I don't love... We're going back, actually. There's a slight chance if you leave enemies alive here, it can off-lock this fight coming up. Nice, okay. It probably would have been okay, but better safe than sorry. The backup is basically having to redo the entire... Okay, wait, so we have the torque bar room at the beginning, which we did. Hammond's heavy frame, up to the ladder, which I got. One in the drill room, which I got. Okay, what's...
Congratulations.
I've never missed an item in chapter 10, I don't... Very confused.
I just wanted to live, and now that I'm the only one left, I couldn't give a shit. With all this time alone, I realized...
Oh, right.
I'm a lazy prick.
Yeah, and then the one... Okay,
It took me a while, but I realize now why we couldn't be allowed to...
We're gonna check the one on the drill first, because maybe I just, like, didn't actually grab it and then put out. That's my guess. And that is the easiest one to grab, so I'm really hoping it's...
all remaining charges. It's time for you to join up.
But yeah, no, it's definitely not an optional mission. Good, actually. You really don't have to... You don't want to miss him on the option. Like, that's just, like, the worst. But there are some levels that are pretty slow. Okay, nice, yeah. So that fight right there, if there is an enemy, like, stuck a wall somewhere, like, basically stuck somewhere, the level's on. There is a chance that, like, he can just be stuck close enough that that door, I guess it's still... But we're good. Okay, we should have enough time to still be under estimate. Look for this. Yeah, I mean, I do know where all 4 of those weapon parts are in chapter 10, so it's... We're gonna find it. No matter of do we have to watch the cutscene at the beginning or not. Alright, also, hopefully. 100% for chapter 5. Okay. It's literally just chapter 10. I can work. So we're actually gonna load chapter 11. Because if it's in the room I think it's in, hope it's in, then it's right around. The other 3, I don't know if there is a faster way to get back to them. Might be able to backtrack for some of them. Okay, the one I'm thinking of is on the table here. 8. I got that one. Okay, and it is a weapon part. Okay, I mean... Oh, actually, I mean, yeah. Okay, let's just do. I don't know which one it could be. I was gonna backtrack, but I think this is probably the easiest. Yeah, unfortunately, to get to the beginning of the chapter 10 here, you actually have to watch this cutscene.
Isaac, you made it.
Although I don't know, the other 2 it actually might be faster to go back. But looking at the time, I think
we should give you 2 some time alone, huh?
Alien Machine. We only have to do Alien Machine 1, 2, and...
You're awfully glad to see him.
We need him. This mission needs him.
We need him or you need him?
Hey, you got something to say to me, Captain?
Stop. Just stop. We need to shut down that damn machine, and we don't
I don't
even
know.
know where it is yet.
I do.
We'll see. Well, I'll do the best I can. There's a slight chance we could go over.
Through what's left of the research notes, and
I thought all that stuff was destroyed.
for computer data, yes. But the written logs discuss a signal tracking experiment that...
All right, if it's not this one, I'm thinking it might be faster to actually load 11 and backtrack,
We
but
can do the same,
probably about the same.
but it's at the other end of the complex.
Yeah, fine. Fine, let's have a look. I could use a change of scenery.
But this one we can't, like this one I can't check. Oh, it could be this one if my inventory was full, but I don't think it... I'm so confused. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how I missed. Oh my god, it is that one. Thank god. Okay. Let's go. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I gotta check the VOD again, because I don't know how I didn't get that. My inventory must have been full and I didn't know. Or I just like didn't actually grab it with kinesis maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay, well there you go. That is a demonstration of how to back up something in max percent if you miss it. Oh yeah, I do need a really quick pull up. We never do. I always do. All right, crisis averted. Wasn't the first one I checked, but yeah. I'm glad we didn't backtrack through the whole level. That would have been really slow, because then I would have realized, oh, I guess it is that one, but I didn't.
If you've made it this far, you're now deep in
Watching the
heart of
cutscene later.
From here,
All right, but yeah, I mean that's just how it goes. I mean, there's literally hundreds of items to collect. It's super easy to like that, just not grab it and not realize, or forget. Like that's the thing. I didn't even forget that one. I just didn't realize I didn't pick it up.
The only advice I can offer is this: be observant. The clues are.
Yeah, we are back in chapter 18 now. We're finally picking back up story. We used to do this part a lot earlier in the run, but we kind of moved it around again. Doesn't matter a lot. Or just like a bench outing, dropping off all your items and stuff. Alright, so specifically I have to kill that enemy, one crawling on the ground. And that's because for these puzzles here, you actually kind of have an ability. If you get hit enough, it'll still break you off of it. But for whatever reason, the crawling enemies will actually just knock you off right away. Okay, but yeah, definitely nice save. Yeah, I mean, I've never missed that item, or really, like, I don't even think I've ever missed an item in chapter 10 before. But I've had runs where it's like, oh, I'm missing one item here, and you kind of just on the fly have to like think about it. You got to remember, okay, wait, which, you know, how much, like, okay, there's 4 weapon parts there, like, where are they? Like, trying to remember like what happened in the run. Like, I remember picking up this one. Sometimes you'll remember, oh yeah, I definitely did miss that one, but the situation we were in was honestly where I was thinking like, I have no idea, like I don't know how I could have. And that's the crazy thing, because I remember picking that one up, but we, I guess we missed it. But cool, okay, I think we're good. Oh, that's, okay, that's fine. It's fine. There we go. I just got a health pack right before. Actually saved. Well, cool. Yeah. So again, this segment we used to do there doesn't really matter, but kind of going to the side here. Well, basically to where you're supposed to go. Chapter 18. And do some puzzles. We're not actually gonna do the puzzles. We're grabbing the items. Did get that. Okay. Just making sure. That's another item that's not fast to go back for. Oh, right. Gotta get a save checkpoint. I gotta actually grab reload. Alright, so that is all the items except for one. Chapter 18, or at least it should be. So now we're gonna do alien machine skip. You're in any percent. So we're trying to bypass having to actually do all the puzzles now. Been loving the run. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's a super cool run in my opinion. Very cool showcase of some of the stuff that's possible in Dead Space 3. Almost even more so than the 8% run, you know, how much stuff there is. But yeah, it's very fun. I very much enjoy the whole routing process of it. I think I mentioned Looney at least once so far, but I definitely want to take the moment to shout out Looney for routing this category in the first place, and also just finding a ton of stuff in this game and the other day, and running them and all that stuff. Been running this game basically since it came out, as far as I remember. So yeah, he's been finding stuff in these games for over a decade now. Awesome. Shout out to Looney. Shout out to Mattman as well for also in a similar way for grinding this game for a long time and finding a lot of cool stuff. Oh, okay. I did my practice run. I didn't miss the checkpoint, did I? Okay, we're good. All audio logs. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, we are in the clear. We've officially gotten everything. Except for one item in chapter 19, but we haven't gotten there yet. So now, we just have to beat the game. And we're rewarded with one last climbing section here. Okay, I think during the cutscene, I'm gonna peek like my blitz, and I'm gonna see how close it is to underestimate. I think we're gonna make it, actually. I think we're gonna make it now. It would have been a lot closer if I didn't have to do that backtrack. Okay. Got 6 minutes left on.
Don't listen to him.
Give me the codex and you can have her back.
No.
We got about 12 more minutes in the run. Okay, so we can make it. We can do it.
Or I will kill
I do have to not mess up the final boss. It's like we could do it.
What are you doing?
Nice.
You got a second chance.
If he turns off the machine, we're all dead. Her? Us? Everyone.
Don't let it all go dark.
Oh yeah, I guess catching up on the story. Ellie, we thought she was dead, because there's a cutscene we missed where filling up with poison gas, but she made it out. Danik uses her as a hostage to try to get the codex. So he wants to unfreeze the moon. He wants the moon to be active and, you know, spreading the marker signal and all that good stuff. He doesn't really like fully understand what he's actually doing, but he's like, I did it.
I've done it. I finally done it. The darkness is in there.
Advancing to the next stage of life or what. And then he kind of just gets well, he kind of just gets impaled by a rock and then he's gone.
When I finish this.
So basically Isaac is thinking there's no way I can turn this machine back on and defeat and make it out.
You two get out of here. Go back to
Like
Earth
saying
Space, tell 'em what we found.
tearful goodbye to Ellie here.
That's all I got left. You can't stop it, Carver.
Will he make it? Get a Gamba going?
On the
Got any mods in here?
Isaac.
I don't know if they do.
I turned my back on the world because I was afraid of what.
I think we could make it though. I mean it'll be a little close.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah, look at him. He's evolved. Yeah, Danik, he's evolved. Evolved into a rock.
I want you to take it and head for home.
So the frustrating or like the funny thing here is the codex is right there. They could just like run up and, you know, do the thing.
We both know I'm not going home.
But of course they spend all this time doing this, and then as soon as they're ready to go do it, I'll just. Yeah, of course they get like knocked away and they can't actually. So close. All right.
Damn, this whole thing's coming apart behind us.
All right, last chapter. Beat the game. All right, so we do a roll here. Skip a stagger animation.
Carver, I see the machine. We have to get it before the moon does. Copy that. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, pretty much just running here. I guess I can go and do a little bit of my just like, I already did some of my shout outs, but yeah, basically just shout outs to the whole Dead Space speedrunning community. Very fun games, very cool speedruns. Even in the past few years, been finding new stuff for all three. And Remake too. Remake is also a very good game, very cool. But yeah, basically just shout out to the whole community. Super cool. Go. All right, that is officially the last of all the items. So we actually just have to beat the game. Which, speaking of which, are very close to the end. So got another flying sequence here. Have some stasis so we don't get hit there. Alright, so this part we actually do have to pull back a bit. If you sprint the whole time, you are gonna hit this rock and die. Otherwise, not too crazy. Definitely not as hard as some of the flying sequences there in the game. That's there's a piece of metal that flies out here that probably got people in their casual playthrough. It almost kind of comes out of nowhere here. Right, that one right there. Yep, that'll kill you. Gotta wait a split second there. Those do actually have iframes until a certain moment. You can't just blast it immediately. I'm gonna go for a funny camera glitch you can do here that doesn't actually save any time, but I always like to do it. Try to aim. I'm gonna try to flick the camera and aim while I interact. Button here. Nice, we got it. Okay, so the camera's just kind of in the floor. Again, does not save any time, but displaces the camera. All right, now we just have to not to die. And then, yeah, then it's just the final boss. So, for the final boss, there is one last glitch we're gonna do. Unfortunately, we can't skip the boss. But there's these super kinesis pads to stand on, right? And we saw them briefly earlier in the game. But if we spam crouch really fast, which I don't even think I mentioned up to this point. We have crouch bound to both directions on the scroll wheel, just spam it really fast. But we're gonna spam crouch really fast while getting off of the platform, and might take a couple tries. It's a little random, I feel like, but if it works, we're gonna be able to keep that like super kinesis anywhere, and we don't have to be standing on the platform specifically.
You can't have this.
Nice, I got it first try. Cool.
Not enough ammo in the world.
So the whole point of this is you're supposed to use that super kinesis to be able to grab these markers, and we're gonna throw it into the eyes. You're gonna be a little bit careful, because if you're standing too close to the edge, especially doing this glitch, you'll just get sent up in the air and die. You also can't just rip the limbs right off the enemies. The enemies don't really pose that much of a threat, to be honest. You also might be wondering, why am I not just hitting him? And the reason for that is it's a bit faster. Okay, wait, I missed that. back up and up here. All right. Just with the way it turns around, the cycle of it spinning, it ends up being a little bit faster to do that one first, so you don't have to wait for it to spin around even more later. But you can maybe already kind of see the time save from doing this. You don't have to wait for them to come up like that. You can just grab the markers like under, you know? Yeah, you can see some of the ground shaking off. It's gonna break. Yeah, if you're standing on that, when it breaks, you just die. Which again, a lot easier to do when we're just not standing on the center. And I'm actually avoiding the center platform specifically, because if I stand on it and then walk off normally, it's gonna get rid of the glitch. I think a couple risky. Ammo. That should work. Nice. That's like, I don't know why I shot him. Oh, that one was more nice. Oh, I thought I actually got that reload through. There we go.
Watch out! It's doing it again! The tentacle! Shoot the tentacle! I see it!
Nice, we got him. Okay. That's not quite GG. There's like a minute-ish left, but that is the final boss. Okay, we made it. Pull this up.
Carver! Carver!
Basically pulling up this huge platform out of its stomach there. Get the codex back. Alright. So time is coming up in like 10 seconds here or less. Gonna be once this final quick time event ends. We're gonna roll faster here at the start. We're gonna run. Here's the quick time event. And time. All right, we made it. Okay. Plenty of time to spare. All right, awesome. Well, that is Dead Space 3 max percent at 97.7%. Highest completion player possible. Our current knowledge of the game. Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed that run. I've been Sharkhat87. Find me running some other horror games. I've been running Dead Space 2 recently. There's been a lot of new time saves there as well. So that's what I'll be up to. Check it out. Otherwise, make sure to stick around for the rest of Marathon. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. Last show off Dead Space. This category in particular, super fun. Last that really hung upon 7. I believe this was also a bit faster than that run. There's definitely some new strats that have found since then, so definitely glad to be back and showing that off. All right, well, thank you for the GGs, everybody. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's all I got. So.